वेरी गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू। कैसे हैं सब लोग? वेरी गुड इवनिंग बेटा। वेरी गुड इवनिंग हेमंत एंड वेरी गुड इवनिंग जिनी। सो टुडे टॉपिक एंड टुमारो टॉपिक वुड बी मतलब एक कंप्लीट टॉपिक है। इट मींस इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट एंड रिफंड। सी, इन ऑल द 2 days, in both of days we will complete import export and refund, so you treat the entire as a one topic. ठीक है? So do you have any understanding that what is the meaning of export of goods? Do you have any understanding? Do you know the meaning of export of the goods? क्या आप export of the goods की definition मालूम है? Do you know the definition of export of goods? The answer is, what is the export of the goods? Okay, tell me one thing. In case of the export of the goods, whether currency should come in the foreign currency, ये जरूरी है कि अमाउंट मुझे फॉरेन करेंसी में मिले? विल डिस्कस। जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई का मतलब क्या है? फर्स्ट टेल मी व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई। वेरी वेरी नाइस आंसर जिनी। नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई? जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई का मतलब क्या होता है? Does it mean that when rate is zero, is the zero rated? Answer is no. No. When rate of the tax is zero, is that zero rated? No. The term zero rated has been defined in the GST. I think you forgot. I have explained in the GST R3B in too much detail that what is the meaning of zero rated supply. मैंने आपको explain किया था when I was discussing the GST returns. At that point of time, I have explained what is the meaning of zero rated. किसी को याद है कि what is the meaning of zero rated? Anyone knows what is the meaning of zero rated? The two type of the supplies are zero rated. One is export and one is supply to the SEZ unit. So what is the definition? The definition we'll talk about, but when I say that what is zero rated, then zero rated means export and SEZ. Export and SEZ are zero rated. Now, important point is, let's say SEZ is making the supply to the DTA. DTA means within India, domestic territorial area. It means this particular location is in India and outside SEZ unit, and is supply made by SEZ the DTA or supply made by the DTA to SEZ. My question is, which one is zero rated supply? Whether A or B or both? Whether A or B or both? Zero rate. See, I know that zero rated supply का मतलब क्या है? One is export, that is very clear, and second is SEZ supply. Now my question is, whether SEZ supply made by SEZ to the DTA, DTA to SEZ, or both are zero rated? That is my question. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct, Hemant. That DTA to SEZ are zero rated. Option B is zero rated. Now see the definition. Now see the definition of zero rated supplies. This term has been defined in section 16 of IGST Act. Zero rated means one is export, it can be goods, it can be services, or both, and second is supply to SEZ unit or developer. Please note this highlighted word has been made effective from October, not this October, last to last. ये अमेंडमेंट हुआ था फाइनेंस एक्ट 2021 में, which has been later on made effective, but as on date it is effective. Now tell me whether DT to SEZ all supplies are zero rated or only authorized operation are zero rated. Now tell me whether all supplies made by DTA to SEZ are zero rated or whether supplies made by the DTA to SEZ for authorized operation are zero rated. किसको आप zero rated कहेंगे? Would you call zero rated as A or B or both? Very good evening, आशुतोष. कौन सी सप्लाई को आप जीरो रेटेड कहेंगे? Will you say that DTA to SEZ all supplies are zero rated? DTA to SEZ authorized operation are zero rated. What you will say? Answer is only authorized operations are zero rated. It is not all supplies are zero rated. No, not at all. After the amendment made effective are zero rated. Question number 1. Again, I'm asking the question number 1. Same, but this time my question is different. Which one is the interstate supply by SEZ to DTA, DTA to SEZ or both? Assuming SEZ are in UP and DTA are also in UP, same state. They both SEZ unit, let's say SEZ is located in Noida and this DTA is located in, let's say, Kanpur. Both are in UP. Now my question is, which one is interstate? 1, 2 or both? SEZ to the DTA, DTA to the SEZ or both? कौन सी सप्लाई interstate है? Now, if you recall that the word interstate we have discussed, the word interstate we have discussed in the place of the supply chapter. Section 7, subsection 5, clause B of IGST Act says that to or by SEZ unit, supply to SEZ unit or supply by SEZ unit will be interstate, meaning thereby in this example the right answer would be C. Both are interstate, both will be leviable to IGST, both would be leviable to IGST. In this question is interstate. I have already explained the word zero rated. Now this point also I have also explained. Answer is both. And which section I have to refer? 75B of IGST Act. Okay. Now this slide is very important. This slide is very important. It defines the fourth term, meaning of export of the goods, export of service, import of the goods, import of service. Now you need to remember these definitions. If I will ask how many conditions are there for export of the goods, you will say only one condition. Similarly, for import, there is only one condition. For export of the services, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are total 5 conditions. And import of service, there are 3 conditions. Now, You read the definition of the export of the goods and tell me whether amount should mandatorily come in foreign currency to define the transaction as export of the goods. मेरा ट्रांजेक्शन एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ द गुड्स होगा, क्या उसके लिए अमाउंट फॉरेन करेंसी में आना जरूरी है? आंसर इज नॉट नेसेसरी. Why? How many conditions are there? How many conditions are there? Sir, only one condition. If you are taking the goods from India to outside India, that is only one condition. Like, for example, Nepal, Bhutan. If I'm sending the goods to the Nepal, will it be export? Answer is yes, always, because there is no condition associated with respect to amount realization. But if you see the definition of export or service, you will find that yes, foreign currency is mandatorily, and it can come in INR if it is permitted by Reserve Bank of India. Like certain Vostro account, the RBI has given the permission that yes, it can come in INR. Nepal, Bhutan, again, the permission has been given by RBI that amount can be realized in the Indian rupees, no problem. But apart from that, it is mandatorily required that amount has to come in the foreign currency. Meaning thereby, if you compare the export of the goods and export of the services, for export of the goods, there is only one condition in movement. If the movement is from India to out of India, that's it. Whether your amount is being sent by the counterparty in INR, whatever it can be. Export of the services, there are 5 conditions. What is the condition? Supplier should be India. Recipient should be outside India. The place of the supply should be outside India. How many section we have read in the place of the supply chapter? मैं एक नॉर्मल क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूं आपसे. हमने प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई चैप्टर किया था, तो वहां पर कितने टोटल सेक्शन थे जो कि प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स और सर्विसेज को डिटरमाइन करने के लिए यूज किए जाते थे? हाउ मेनी सेक्शंस आर देयर which are being used to determine the POS? Answer is total 4 section: 10, 11, 12 and 13. 10 and 11 is for goods and 12 and 13 for services. For export of service or import of the service, the place of the supply will be determined by using the section will be determined by using the section. Which section? मैं place of the supply for services, will I use section 12 or will I use section 13? क्या कोई बता सकता है? Anybody can tell me. I am giving you 1 minute. Please think and tell me what is the difference between section 12 and section 13 of IGST Act. मुझे तो आप सिर्फ एक चीज बता दीजिए कि सेक्शन 12 में और सेक्शन 13 में क्या डिफरेंस था. We all know that there are total 4 sections for determining the POS: 10, 11, 12, 13. 10 and 11 it's used for the goods to decide POS. 12 and 13 are used for services to decide POS. Now my question is, when I will use section 12, and my question is when I will use section 13 to decide the POS in case of services. मैं सेक्शन 12 कब यूज करूंगा एंड सेक्शन 13 कब यूज करूंगा टू डिसाइड द POS? द आंसर इज सेक्शन 12 when both parties are in India, and section 13 any one party's any one party is outside India, मतलब एक इंडिया में है और एक इंडिया के बाहर है, तब मैं कौन सा सेक्शन अप्लाई करूंगा? 13. What you will do to by using the section 13? I will decide the POS. What is the use to decide the POS? What is the use to decide the POS? In case of the export of service, this provision says that place of the supply has to be outside India. How I will determine? Because one party is in India, one party outside India, I will use section 13 of IGST Act. Similarly, one party outside India, one party is in India, and place of the supply should be India for import of services. So section 13 I will use to determine the POS. Now, please note import and export of service. For import, there are three conditions. For export, there are two additional conditions. One condition we have discussed that amount should come in the foreign currency or INR if it is permitted by Reserve Bank of India. And last, most important condition, that supplier and the recipient, one party is in India, one party outside India, they're saying they should not be the related party. Supplier and recipient are not merely establishment of the distinct person. What is the meaning of the establishment of distinct person? They have given the cross reference with section 8 explanation 1. Let me go to these provision also, but एक बार वापस रिवाइज करते हैं कि एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ द गुड्स एंड इंपोर्ट ऑफ द गुड्स में ओनली वन कंडीशन है, मतलब in case of the goods, well, will it be export or will it be import? It is immaterial because physical movement are important. If it is going from out of India to out of India, it is export. And if it is coming from out of India to India, it is import. That's it. Who is the supplier? Who is the recipient? What is the place of the supply? Amount coming in foreign currency, all are irrelevant. But when I will say that import and export of the service, export of the service means uh, I am in India and raising the invoice to outside India, correct? So supplier would be in India, supplier कहाँ पे होगा? India में, and recipient would be outside India. Then place of the supply has to be outside India for export of service. ठीक है, payment foreign currency or INR if RBI permitted, and then last is the supplier and recipient should not be the mere establishment of distinct person. What is the meaning of that? Just wait for some time. Let me go to the section 8. I will explain again. But how many conditions are there for import? 3 conditions. Now tell me. So now tell me, let me give you one example. Let me give you one example. ठीक है, एग्जाम्पल क्या है एक बार इसको भूल जाइए, वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड. आई एम यूजिंग दिस वाइट पोर्शन. एग्जाम्पल इज supplier is located in USA. Customer is, मैं उसी स्लाइड में जाता हूं. लेट मी गो सो दैट यू कैन सी द प्रोविजन. Location of supplier is USA. Location of recipient is Delhi. And by any provision of IGST Act of Section 13, Section 13, you have applied Section 13 and decided, calculated the POS comes to USA. Now tell me, the supplier is raising the bill to Delhi party. Delhi party is making the payment in the foreign currency to USA party because by virtue of the Section 13, the place of the supply comes to USA. Now, will it be import of service or will it be export of service? आप मुझे बताइए, आपके सामने डेफिनेशन है, यू हैव द डेफिनेशन इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू. अप्लाई योर माइंड, गिव मी द आंसर. ये एग्जाम्पल में, इन दिस एग्जाम्पल, what would be the nature of this transaction? Import of service, export of service, or it is simple out of GST, or it will be the like Indian transaction, domestic transaction, I can say. Will it be import of service? Will it be so assume that see, all other condition, payment is coming in foreign currency, I have already given. They are not having any relationship. They are altogether different person. Rest all the conditions, if it is there, it is being satisfied. Will it be export of the service? Hemant, just confirm whether first condition are set. What is the first condition for export of service? हेमंत, मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूं, मुझे आप सिर्फ देख के बता दीजिए पहला कंडीशन क्या है एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विस का. व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट कंडीशन फॉर एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विस? मिस पूनम एंड मिस जेनी, काइंडली गिव द रिप्लाई. हेमंत, आपके सामने प्रोविजन है, या आप मुझे बताइए कि क्या फर्स्ट कंडीशन है. इज इट बीइंग सैटिस्फाइड?
No, not satisfied, sir. I'm wrong, sir.
Then you give the revert answer. Tell me what is the answer. Think. See, because this question is not simple question, I mean to say. You have to see and then give the answer. No problem. Think, is it export? Think, is it import? Think, is it out of GST? Or think, is it domestic transaction taxable in India? एक बार आप मुझे सोच के बताइए. सभी पार्टिसिपेंट से रिक्वेस्ट है, पूनम, जिनी एंड एवरीवन, आशुतोष. Will it be export of service? Will it be import of service? Will it be domestic transactions? Will it be out of GST? One thing is clear, let me go. One thing is clear that in this example, it is not import, it is not export. Do you agree with me? Let's say, analyze. For export, whether supplier is located in India? No, sir, it is located outside India. It is not satisfied? No. Recipient is in India? Recipient is outside India? No, it is not satisfied. Place of the supply satisfied. So will it be export or service? Answer is no, because all the 5 condition has to be satisfied. तो एक बार import और service की बात करते हैं. Whether supply is outside India? हाँ, it was. Supplier is USA. Satisfied? Yes. Recipient is in India? Yes, it is satisfied. Whether place of the supply is in India? What was the place of the supply? USA. This time, this condition are not satisfied. Is it import? Answer is no, because all the 3 conditions has to be satisfied. Where is the supplier? Outside India. Where is place of the supply? Outside India. It means when supplier and POS, I'm not talking about recipient now. When supplier and POS both are outside India, it will be out of GST. See, these type of the technicality may come in the practical question, and you might end up to pay the tax under RCM. And one important thing, we have started the revision class. I will take 3 revision class. On next 3 Sunday, starting from tomorrow 12 to 3 p.m. 12 noon to 3 p.m. And then we will have the regular class 6 to 9 p.m. कल हमारे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट दिन है. हम इनिशियली 6 चैप्टर का, chapter 1 to chapter 6, we will do the revision, and also we will try to understand the bigger practical question, जो 12 जितना भी नंबर का आता है, the first practical question, which is I think 14 marks का something like that. We will try to understand the first practical question in detail, and tomorrow, and also we will cover the important part of the chapter 1 to chapter 6. जी मैंने अभी अनम्यूट लॉक किया है. वॉट एवर यू लाइक टू गिव आंसर, यू गिव द आंसर इन द चैट. मैंने अभी लॉक किया है so that we can understand the see the question, the point which I like to convey to all of you. You have the chat open, you can answer in the chat. बाकी last half an hour you just raise your hand, I will unmute. ठीक है, is it clear ना? See, what is the point which I like to highlight, that all the three condition has to be satisfied, then only it is import, and all the 5 condition has to be satisfied, then only it is export. Correct. Let me go into more detail. ठीक है. Tell me one thing. Supplier and recipient should not be the establishment of distinct person. Is it the condition in the import or export or both? Read the provision you have in front of you. You have the provision in front of you. मुझे बताइए कि supplier and recipient should not be the mere establishment of the distinct person. ये condition import के लिए है या export के लिए? The answer is, it is clearly written, it is only in the export and not in the import. Is it for export of the service or export of the goods? Sir, for export of the goods, there is only one condition. For export of the goods, there is only one condition. We are not having any other condition for export of the goods. Same for import of the goods. The recipient and supplier should not be the related. I am using the word related party, but yes, the word are not merely establishment of the distinct person. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? Not merely establishment of the distinct person. Now it is very important discussion. You have to be very, very focused. Very, very focused, and then only you can understand. Let me 1 second. मैं इस स्लाइड में जाता हूं, and then I will come back to the. ये कहता है कि अभी सिर्फ क्लॉज ए पे फोकस करेंगे. एस्टैब्लिशमेंट इन इंडिया and other establishment outside India, it will be treated an establishment of distinct person. So for example, if I am in India, I am having one establishment in India. Let's say I am from Delhi and I have the one establishment. In UK, I have one establishment. Now, if I will raise the invoice to the UK party, to whom? To myself. UK, obviously, it will be in another name or something like that. Will it be establishment of the distinct person? The prima facie answer, yes. After that, we have to read one circular which has been clarified a lot of things. पहला बात क्या है कि अगर मेरी एक एस्टैब्लिशमेंट इंडिया में है और मेरी ही एक एस्टैब्लिशमेंट आउटसाइड इंडिया में है, who am I? I am an individual. Because the answer would be different if, let's say, I am a corporate. No. Abhi, to understand this particular scenario, assume that I am individual doing the business in India. I'm individual doing the business in UK. Suppose if I am raising the invoice from Delhi to UK, will it be export? Because I am establishment in India and outside India, then who am I? I will be treated as establishment of distinct person. No issue. And if you will be treated as an establishment of the distinct person, then the fifth condition not satisfied. Or agar fifth condition not satisfied, then it cannot be export. It cannot be export. Let me explain once again. Assume that Arun, located in Delhi, raising the invoice to Arun, located in UK, and both are having the different establishment. Will it be export of service? एक बार मुझे कंफर्म करें, will it be export of service? Please confirm in the chat. Will it be export of the service? Ashutosh, you also please confirm that will it be export of the service? Answer is no. Why no? Why no? If I'm asking why no, then what would be your counter argument? Why no? You are saying no? Absolutely correct. Why no? Because the fifth condition for export of service is talking about that both parties should not be the establishment of distinct person, but it is establishment of the distinct person as per explanation 1 to section 8, and therefore fifth condition not satisfied. Therefore, it is not export. Now reverse the example. Reverse the example. Now let's say, अब मैं एग्जाम्पल को रिवर्स कर रहा हूं. क्या कर रहा हूं? एग्जाम्पल को जस्ट अपोजिट कर रहा हूं. लेट्स से बिकॉज ऑफ एनी रीजन द यूके लोकेशन is raising the invoice to Delhi location. ओके बेटा, मैं इंश्योर करूंगा. आई विल टेक पोच एंड विल नॉट गिव द रिप्लाई इन सम टाइम. ठीक है. अब सोचिए, यूके इज रेजिंग द इनवॉइस टू दिल्ली. यूके इज रेजिंग द इनवॉइस टू दिल्ली. तो मैं एक सेकंड, आप लोग अनम्यूट करके बोलिए, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. ठीक है. यू कैन क्लिक अनम्यूट एंड यू कैन स्पीक, नो प्रॉब्लम. आप अनम्यूट कीजिए, बोलिए. यूके इज रेजिंग द इनवॉइस टू दिल्ली. Will it be import or service? Will it be import or service? They are still establishment of distinct person. अभी भी they are establishment of distinct person. Will it be import or service? Yes or no? Simply say yes or no. पहले तो मुझे आप ये बताइए, क्या ये इंपोर्ट और सर्विस है क्या? The answer is you can unmute. Hemant, you can unmute if you like to. You can unmute and speak, no problem. And similarly,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There will be. It.
Okay. And Jenny, what do you think? क्या ये import है?
Yes, sir. Here the fifth condition is not there.
हाँ. हेमंत, एग्री कर रहे हो इस बात से कि फिफ्थ कंडीशन इज नॉट देयर इन इंपोर्ट?
Yes, yes.
Therefore, see, try to understand. Same example, if I'm doing the reverse, then it will be, and in case of the import of service, who will pay the tax, supplier or recipient? In case of the import of service, who will pay the tax, supplier or recipient?
Recipient.
Under
RCM.
So, when government need the tax, they have relaxed the condition. Try to understand. When government need the tax, when government is getting the tax, then they have removed two condition. But when government is giving the refund of taxes, because export में refund मिलता है, right? I do agree there are certain conditions. On satisfaction of that condition, export पर refund मिलता है. Then government are tightening this provision. So just try to remember कि एक्सपोर्ट में ज्यादा कंडीशन क्यों है? क्योंकि वहां पे गवर्नमेंट को रिफंड देना पड़ता है. या इंपोर्ट में कम क्यों है? क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स मिलता है यहां पर. नाउ just one more thing. Explanation 2, it says that in three type of the business, if you are having the agency, or you are having the representative office, or you are having the branch, three category of the business, it will be treated that you have the establishment in India and you have the establishment outside India. What does it mean? Suppose Indian office has opened one office in UK, one branch office. Then will it be export? Answer is no. Why no? Fifth condition not satisfied. Why, sir? Because branch, agency, and the representative office, this three category of the relation, will always be considered as establishment of distinct person. This three type of the relation will always be considered as an establishment of the distinct person. And if it is an establishment of the distinct person, then what? If it is an establishment of the distinct person, then what? It is not export of service. Correct. Now, one thing very beautifully clarified by the CBIC, what they have clarified that 161, we have the next, that if you have the office in India, let's say XYZ Private Limited, and you have outside India again office XYZ Limited, whatever, for same organization, but what is the nature of the operation? You are not having the branch, you are not having the agency, you are not having the representative office, but you have opened the separate company under the Companies Act, and similarly separate any category of the registration under the respective country का जो भी act है. In that case, even they are the same company, but it will not be breach of fifth condition. ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने fifth condition satisfied नहीं किया. In case of the private limited company holding subsidiary company, the transaction will be assumed that fifth condition has been satisfied. The relation between holding and subsidiary will not be the establishment of distinct person. So assuming all other conditions are satisfied, क्या की बात कर रहा हूं? If the transaction is between holding subsidiary company, in that case, the fifth condition is satisfied and the transaction is export of service. ठीक है, we'll come back. एक बार just tell me export of service, how many conditions are there? Tell me how many conditions are there for export of service? How many conditions are there for export of service? कितनी condition है for export of service? 5. Anyone can tell me the 5 condition? Anyone can tell me the 5 condition? कौन कौन सी 5 condition? चाहे बोल के बताएं, चाहे लिख के बताएं, whatever you want. Okay. First, Ginny, unmute and tell me any 2 condition. Ginny, unmute and tell me any 2 condition.
Sir, location of supply should be in India. Location of supply should be in India, and location of recipient should be outside India, and the location, place of supply should be out of India.
Location of supply should be?
Location of supply should be in India.
Okay, location of recipient should be?
Outside India.
Perfect. And third condition is place of the supply should be?
Outside India.
Now, Ginny, just wait for a minute. Hemant, you tell me the balance 2 condition. Hemant, you tell me the balance 2 condition. For export of
the money received should be in the foreign currency.
Absolutely correct.
And the fifth condition is there should not be the establishment should not be of distinct persons.
Correct. Tell me the 3 relation. The question is from Hemant, and then I will ask one more question from Ginny. Tell me the 3 relation category of the business in which it will be treated that yes, they have the establishment of distinct person and the transaction will not be export.
Branch, agency, and representational office.
Very nice, beta. Now you can mute yourself. Ginny, please open and tell me which one transaction, which one category of the transaction will understand, will assume that it is export of service and even they are same organization. किस टाइप के केस में हमेशा ये माना जाएगा कि नहीं, ये एस्टैब्लिशमेंट ऑफ डिस्टिंक्ट पर्सन नहीं है, फिफ्थ इज सेटिस्फाइड, क्लैरिफाइड बाय सर्कुलर. यस, टेल मी.
अगर अगर अरे यानी कोई कंपनी है, जैसा कि आपने एग्जांपल दिया था सर, मैं वही बोलूंगी।
हाँ प्लीज।
अगर एक पर्सन है, उसका इंडिया में भी एस्टेब्लिशमेंट है XYZ लिमिटेड, और उस यानी इनकॉर्पोरेट इन इंडिया, एंड same person having the different company in another country with the respective law under that,
करेक्ट करेक्ट
at that time we will consider it as that fifth condition satisfy हुई है।
करेक्ट, मतलब दे आर नॉट
Not-
डिस्टिंक्ट पर्सन, दे आर नॉट डिस्टिंक्ट पर्सन, करेक्ट।
yes sir।
तो फिफ्थ कंडीशन सेटिस्फाइड, सो द ट्रांजेक्शन वुड बी एक्सपोर्ट और सर्विस। नाउ थैंक यू थैंक यू थैंक यू। अभी हम आगे बढ़ते हैं, लेट मी मूव फर्दर, ठीक है। फ्लो चार्ट वी विल बी यूज अगेन व्हेन आई विल स्टार्ट द रिफंड डिस्कशन, बट व्हाट इज दिस फ्लो चार्ट? इट सेज दैट एक्सपोर्ट और एसईजेड, मतलब जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई, आई एम यूजिंग द वर्ड। फॉर जीरो रेटेड सप्लाईज देयर आर टू रूट। See, when I am doing the export of the goods or services, or I am making the supply to the SEZ unit or developer goods or services, it says that you have the two route. One is without payment of IGST against LUT or bond, and one is after payment of IGST and claim the refund. मैं एक बार वापस रिपीट करता हूं, एक्सपोर्ट विदाउट पेमेंट ऑफ IGST against letter of undertaking or bond, and then second is export on payment of IGST. What we will get the refund, that we will discuss in the refund chapter, correct? Right now I'm not going into the refund part. There are the two possible route for doing the zero rated supplies. One is on payment of IGST, very simple route, and one is under LUT route. LUT means you are not required to pay the tax for making the supplies. That is only provision in GST where you are not required to pay the tax on taxable supplies. एकमात्र एक प्रोविजन ऐसा है जहां पर आपको टैक्स नहीं देना है फॉर टैक्सेबल सप्लाईज, ठीक है। व्हाट इज दैट? जीरो रेटेड अंडर LUT. नाउ लेट्स रीड फर्दर. The section 16 of IGST Act is basically important. 16 subsection 1 we have already discussed that. हेमंत और जिनी एक बार आंसर करना मेरे को, एंड आशुतोष यू आल्सो गिव मी द आंसर, दैट सप्लाई टू SEZ यूनिट और डेवलपर will always be zero rated supplies or some conditions or some restrictions. मेरा क्वेश्चन बड़ा सिंपल है, मैं DTA में हूं, आउटसाइड SEZ, मैं SEZ को सप्लाई कर रहा हूं, will it zero rated supplies or we have to see something else, we have to see something extra? क्या ये जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई है?
Authorized operations, sir. We have to see.
बेटा मुझे क्या करना होगा? I have to check that it should be for authorized operation. अगर ये authorized operation नहीं है, then if it is not for authorized operation, then it is
not a zero rated
Not
supply.
the-
so I have to pay the tax, correct? 16 subsection 2 says that if the supply is zero rated, now if the supply is zero rated, see, tell me basic concept. If your outward supply is exempted, can you claim the ITC? Can you take the ITC? Input tax credit मिलेगा अगर outward supplies मेरी exempted है तो. If my outward supply is exempted, am I eligible to claim the ITC? I'm not talking about refund at all. मैं refund की बात ही नहीं कर रहा हूं. I'm simply talking about will I be eligible to claim the ITC? The
No,
answer
sir.
is no. Why no? Why? Reason बताओ. Ginny, reason. You are correctly saying that if my outward supply is exempted, then I cannot claim the ITC. Absolutely correct. Give me the reason. आईटीसी चैप्टर हो गया ना आपका?
क्योंकि सप्लाई ही एग्जाम्प्ट है तो हम आईटीसी के कैलकुलेशन
रीजन इट्स नो, ये करेक्ट रीजन ही है. सी, let's say I'm putting in another way. I am saying that supply to the SEZ not for authorized operation, is it zero rated? You will say no. अब मैं पूछूं क्यों नहीं, तो आप मुझे आंसर क्या करोगे? सर डेफिनेशन में ये लिखा हुआ है कि एक्सपोर्ट हमेशा जीरो रेटेड है और एसईजेड विद ऑथराइज्ड ऑपरेशन जीरो रेटेड है. क्योंकि डेफिनेशन में लिखा हुआ है इसलिए ये जीरो रेटेड नहीं है. एसईजेड फॉर नॉन ऑथराइज्ड ऑपरेशन. Therefore, I'm asking the same question. You are saying exempt supply पर ITC नहीं मिलेगा. Absolutely correct, no doubt. Why? You have, you remember that rule 40 to 43? Do you remember that rule 40 to 43? याद है? पढ़ा था आपने आईटीसी में? Just asking. No problem. 17 subsection of IGST Act. 17 subsection 2 of I. मैं आपको सेक्शन इसलिए बता रहा हूं, अगर आपको क्लास के बाद में ये रेफरेंस सर्च करना पड़े तो यू हैव द मतलब प्रोविजन कि आपको कहां पे सर्च करना है. देयरफॉर आई एम टेलिंग यू इट इज नॉट मैंडेटरी फॉर द एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू दैट यू हैव टू राइट सेक्शन. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, आपका प्रोविजन सही होना चाहिए, कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी होनी चाहिए, दैट्स इट. सो इफ यू हैव द एग्जाम्प्ट सप्लाई एंड टैक्सेबल सप्लाई देन यू आर रिक्वायर्ड टू रिवर्स प्रोपोर्शनेट आईटीसी, है ना? That is in the ratios of the turnover, correct? So therefore this provision says that if your outward supply is exempted, you can't take the ITC, correct? Now scenario is changed. Now I'm saying, let's say milk is exempted, correct? I'm located in Delhi, and if I make the milk supply of milk to Delhi party, any party, Indian party, it is exempted perfectly. Now suppose this milk I am exporting to UK. This is goods. Will it be export? Answer is yes. Answer is yes. Export can be for exempted item and can be for taxable item. No issue. Try to understand. Export can be of exempted item, can be of taxable item. No issue. Now assume that I am doing the export of exempted. Can I claim the ITC? Can I claim the ITC? Answer given in this provision. It says that subject to 17.5, yes. I am eligible to claim the ITC for zero rated supply, ठीक है, notwithstanding that such supply may be exempt supply. अगर आपकी एक्सपोर्ट या एसईजेड को जो सप्लाई की है, if it is exempted, then also you can claim the input tax credit. Very nice. It is against the basic concept of given in the 17.2. जो बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट है कि एग्जेम्प्ट पर आईटीसी नहीं मिलता, दिस इज एक्सेप्शन. बट इफ मतलब क्या हुआ, अगर आप एग्जेम्प्टेड को एक्सपोर्ट कर दोगे, एग्जेम्प्टेड को एसईजेड को फॉर ऑथराइज्ड ऑपरेशन दे दोगे, देन यू कैन क्लेम द आईटीसी, करेक्ट? This part I am not reading right now. I will read after some time when I will start some part of the refund chapter. ठीक है. Same 16. What is the 16.4? Very important provision. It says that government by notification specify class of the person who make the zero rated supplies on payment of IGST. They are saying that वो कौन से क्लास ऑफ पर्सन है जो एक्सपोर्ट या एसईजेड को सप्लाई कर सकते हैं ऑन आईजीएसटी. इट मींस दिस रूट ऑन पेमेंट ऑफ आईजीएसटी is not available to all. This route on payment of IGST not available to all. It is restricted route. Why it is restricted? There could be the multiple reason. But one example I'm saying that on like sin product. Example, पान मसाला, टॉबैको, पान मसाला, ठीक है, टॉबैको. आई एम गिविंग वन एग्जांपल, ठीक है. देयर आर मल्टीपल आइटम्स. Government is saying that this particular item has to be exported under LUT. You cannot export on payment of IGST. What is the reason? That we will discuss later on, or if we can skip that also. But I am saying that because government are saying that by notification we will specify that who all can make the zero rated supplies on payment of IGST. Similarly, they are saying yes, we will specify that class of the goods or services which may be exported on payment of IGST. It means in that particular notification, they are saying that sin product cannot be exported on IGST. It means it has to be under LUT route. Okay. Later on, we will also come to understand one more point, that if one person is the defaulter in payment of taxes of 250 lakhs, then he cannot export under LUT. Then in that case, he has to go for on IGST only. So there are multiple restrictions, but one restriction I have given you, that कब आप export नहीं कर सकते on IGST अगर आपका sin product है. Why? Because government is given in the notification. Correct. So this route I am saying it is some sort of, like I can say, restricted route. अभी तक clear है? Whatever we have discussed, is it clear or to all? Fine. आशुतोष आपकी रिप्लाई नहीं आ रही है. आशुतोष आपकी रिप्लाई नहीं आ रही है. प्लीज कंफर्म that you are giving the reply to the particular model chat whatever it has been board of studies का जो भी आपका वो है पैनल, उस पे आप रिप्लाई करें. Now let's understand. There is a one clarification given by the CBIC. Multiple clarification has been given by the CBIC in export, import and refund chapter. Multiple clarification. We'll discuss all such. We'll try to discuss all such. Now, this circular says that in case of an exporter of service, let's say A is exporter of service, A is located in Delhi, and he has one customer, Mr. John, located in US. Okay. A is providing the export of service, let's say $10,000. Correct. And for this work is, let's say, software development or inspection, okay, something inspection, research, any transaction you can. So what A did, he has outsourced some work to the Mr. B located in, let's say, UK. क्या किया, A ने कुछ काम B को दे दिया. Now let's say for which the amount is agreed, $4,000. Okay. Now there could be the two possibility. That invoice would see. One thing is clear, that invoice will be raised by A Delhi to Mr. John US for entire amount. That is very, very clear. But when the amount is being received, they are having that either you make the payment to me and in turn I will make the payment to you, then no problem. In turn they will make the A will make the payment to B, no problem. But sometimes the situation would be that Mr. John, customer, will make the payment to A only $6,000 and will make the payment to B $4,000. Assume that. If this is the case, then the doubt was, will A ka transaction is export of service for entire 10,000 or to the extent of the amount received, ₹6,000, itna hi export माना जाएगा because he has not received. That part has been clarified by the circular 78. It says that even if full consideration is not received in the foreign currency, as recipient in my example, Mr. John has directly paid to Mr. B. That portion of the consideration shall also be, that portion of the consideration मतलब $4,000 की बात हो रही है, shall also be treated as receipt of the consideration, section 2 subsection 6 clause 4 of IGST Act. Is it clear? This part is clear. सर्कुलर 78 का बात क्लियर हुआ कि अगर मुझे मेरे ट्रांजेक्शन का पूरा अमाउंट नहीं आता, वाई नहीं आ रहा, क्यों नहीं आ रहा? बिकॉज सम पार्ट हैज बीन पेड टू द सम अदर पार्टी as per my instruction or direction, obviously. In that case, even if I have not received, still it will be treated that I have received the amount. ठीक है? So I am not reading the example. It is very, very self-explanatory. You can read that example. I hope it will be a very simple example. It is a revision. I have already explained. You please use the chat. And my request would be, you please use the chat and not give the, आप chat use करना and आप मुझे ना unmute करके आंसर मत देना, only for this slide. Will this example number 1, will this be export or service? Kindly give me the answer in the chat. And example number 2, will this be export or service? And I have already explained, I have given the answer, I have discussed with all of you. Revise also, मुझे आपसे एक्सपेक्टेशन है, you all will give the correct answer. मुझे सिर्फ इतना बता दीजिए, example 1, will it be export or service? Example 2, will it be export or service? Just give me the answer. Kesav Sahu and Poonam Rani. Hi. Just confirm in the chat, are you able to hear me? Kesav and Poonam. Kesav and Poonam. Are you able to hear me? Just give in the chat. मेरा एक सिर्फ आपसे पॉइंट है टू ऑल, मेरा तो सभी सीए फाइनल के स्टूडेंट से मेरा क्वेश्चन रहता है और कि व्हाई इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल यू ऑल टू कम इन द लाइव क्लास. मतलब मुझे कोई रीजन बता सकते हैं. सी अकॉर्डिंगली वी कैन ऑल्सो थिंक, बट केशव आई कैन एश्योर यू वन थिंग, मतलब जीनी एंड हेमंत कैन कंफर्म एंड आशुतोष कैन कंफर्म कि हम लोग रेगुलरली क्लास लेते हैं ऑन एवरी सैटरडे संडे और बड़े अच्छे से एंजॉय करते हैं, डिस्कशन करते हैं. माय रिक्वेस्ट वुड बी केशव एंड सेम टू पूनम, ट्राई टू कम रेगुलरली, ट्राई टू कम रेगुलरली पॉसिबल, बिकॉज इस वीकेंड में है. आई डू अग्री दैट आपकी आर्टिकलशिप चल रही होगी, might be you have the other commitment also, you have the other classes also, I do agree, but अगर possible है ना तो please come regularly in the class. If possible, please bring some more student in the class. You will see the pattern of discussion and the level of engagement and enjoyment, level of engagement in the class and enjoyment out of the class will be tremendous, will be very very nice. ठीक है, तो हो सके तो आप ये करना. अच्छा मुझे अब बताइए
सर, ये जो है आपने दिया है, क्वेश्चन पूछा है, इट इज जस्ट रिवर्स ऑफ व्हाट वी हैव डिस्कस.
नहीं, फाइन. एग्जांपल 1 इज सिंपल ना. हाँ मतलब यस, आई हैव डन सी दैट एक्सप्लेनेशन. फाइन. and that is the reason. See, the relationship, I have given one example that by keeping the main office in India and keeping the branch office outside India, it can be reverse also. Similarly, holding company can be outside India, subsidiary company can be India, or holding is in India, subsidiary outside India. Doesn't matter. If these two relations are there, then how to give the answer? If one company is in any country and another setup is branch agency representative, will it be export? Answer is no. Will it be export? Answer is no. क्योंकि जब भी branch office, representative office और agency है, then what I told you, the fifth condition, that supplier and the recipient are establishment of distinct person. Establishment of the distinct person, and therefore fifth condition is not satisfied. Fifth condition क्या कहता है? Supplier and the recipient should not be the mere establishment of distinct person. Supplier and recipient distinct person नहीं होने चाहिए. But I given the section 8 का explanation too, that if you have the branch office, representative office or agency in any country, it will be treated that you are having the relation of establishment of distinct person. जैसे ही आपका relation establishment of distinct person है, तो क्या ये export होगा? नहीं. Why नहीं? What is the reason? Not export, because fifth condition satisfied नहीं है. And if you are having one office in India, one office outside India, and they are having the setup as a separate companies, registered in India in the Companies Act, registered outside India in the respective countries का जो भी statute, जो भी law है उसमें है, then it will be export because they are not establishment of distinct person. Yes, it is export. ये बात कहाँ क्लियर की है? ये बात हमेशा ध्यान रखना. CBIC has clarified in the circular 161. Now let me go to the circular 161. Now let me go to the circular 161. ठीक है. Circular 161 has clarified that if a foreign company is conducting business in India through the branch, agency or the representative office, then the said branch or representative office shall be treated as establishment of distinct person. Establishment of foreign company. Similarly, the company, ठीक है, because they are treated as establishment of distinct person and therefore it can never be export. It can never be export. I hope this part is clear. एक बार कंफर्म करना, please confirm my understanding that suppose if I will reverse the transaction, assume that because of any reason they are providing the service to branch office, will it be import? Will it be import of service? Assume that, see, the first question which I have asked, that branch office is raising the invoice to the outside India. First condition, all the 5 conditions has to be satisfied. So you have given the answer. Fifth is not satisfied, so therefore it is not export. Fully agree. Now let's say I am changing the example. The company located outside India is raising the bill to its branch office located in India. Will it be import of service? Answer is yes. It will be import of service. And the reason क्या है? जिनी unmute करके बताना मुझे. जिनी unmute करके बताना क्या reason है कि ये import of service है? क्या रीजन है कि
import of service में only 3 conditions are there and the last the relationship of distinct person condition is not there, that is fifth.
ठीक है बेटा, वेरी नाइस. हेमंत अनम्यूट करके बताना, अगर होल्डिंग सब्सिडरी को कोई सर्विस दे रही है, ही इज रेजिंग द बिल टू द इंडियन सब्सिडरी कंपनी, विल इट बी इंपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विस?
Yes, it will be import of service, sir. Because after all, the subsidiary company in our country and the holding company in the foreign country, they are incorporated in different laws, so they are not distinct persons of same as. So they are not distinct.
हेमंत एक चीज और बता बेटा, क्या ये जो बात आपने कही है, क्या मुझे इंपोर्ट और सर्विस के केस में ये देखना जरूरी है क्या? इज इट नेसेसरी?
Sorry. Yeah, correct. It's not the part of the condition. Yes.
करेक्ट, करेक्ट, करेक्ट.
Only three
So,
conditions need to be satisfied.
correct. So this particular relationship I have to see when arrow is from India to out of India. Arrow is from India to out of India. When I will not see when the transaction is import. And जिन्नी मुझे एक बार आंसर करना बेटा कि इंपोर्ट और सर्विस में कौन टैक्स पे करेगा? Who will pay the tax?
Recipient, sir, under
Correct,
RCM.
correct. ठीक है बेटा. Now let's take a break of 10 minute. अभी 7:05 हुआ है. We will take a break of 10 minute. And इस स्लाइड के साथ स्टार्ट करेंगे. Very nice discussion. 10 मिनट का ब्रेक है. We will resume at 7:15. ठीक है?
Sir, one doubt is there, sir. Sir,
बता.
you said that we need to participate in tomorrow's discussion in the afternoon, but I haven't found the link.
Same link होगा फिर. It would be the same link probably.
Same link, huh?
सर
Because
इसमें हमारे पास अलग टाइम टेबल भी नहीं है.
timetable be not published.
Okay. We'll discuss, but yes, tomorrow we will have the class from 12 to 3. Probably you will receive any link or something like that, but I will discuss with the after the class I will discuss with the board of studies and अगर नहीं है तो I will मतलब request for them to कि भी सभी को आप circulate कर दीजिए और just confirm कि that yes it is same link. ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
Now, everyone, please tell. See this answer. See this question. Very, very, very interesting question. Assume that there is a one branch office in India. If they have received some software development work from this company, Aliva Inc. And this Aliva Inc., who is HO, has received some work from Mr. Thomas. मैं रिपीट करता हूं, वापस रिपीट करता हूं, आप यहां से स्टार्ट कीजिए. There is a one customer, Mr. Thomas, who needs some software development. He has given the work to this Aliva Inc. In UK. Tell me, assume that this is the only transaction. Will the GST be leviable on this transaction for bill raised by UK to Mr. Thomas, UK customer? Will the GST be applicable? Indian GST would be applicable? Obviously no. See, very simple. Why the Indian GST will come into the picture? Correct ना कैसा हेमंत? भाई इंडिया के बाहर ट्रांजेक्शन हो रहा है, इंडिया के बाहर एक कस्टमर है, इंडिया के बाहर से ही पैसा आ रहा है, देयर इज नो रिलेशन विद इंडिया, देन व्हाई द इंडियन जीएसटी विल कम इनटू द पिक्चर? करेक्ट. Now let me add some more fact. Now this Aliva Inc. has outsourced certain work to the branch. Branch is completing that software development work for Mr. Thomas and then raising the invoice by the branch to Aliva Inc. UK. Now tell me, who is the supplier? What is the location of supplier in this case for the invoice raised by the branch in India to Aliva Inc. head office? What is the location of supplier? Location of supplier क्या होगा? Obviously India, right? Supplier तो इंडिया में है ना, इस ट्रांजेक्शन के लिए जो ब्रांच इनवॉइस रेज कर रहा है टू द यूके. तो always the person who is a supplier will raise the invoice. ठीक है. Who is the recipient for this invoice? Who is the recipient? You will say UK. You will say UK. Assume that place of the supply is outside India. Assume that place of the supply is also outside India, UK, and amount is coming in the foreign currency. And last fifth condition, you check and confirm and then tell me the invoice raised by the branch to the Aliva Inc. will it be export? ये वाला जो ट्रांजेक्शन है क्या ये एक्सपोर्ट और सर्विस है? Will it be export or service? क्या ये एक्सपोर्ट और सर्विस है? The answer is no. And the reason is we have discussed multiple times, but let me repeat once again, because fifth condition is not satisfied. Fifth condition is not satisfied, right? Fifth condition may problem था इसलिए satisfied नहीं. If it is not export of service, then if it is not export of service, so it means branch is liable to pay the GST. In that case, branch is liable to pay the GST. If it is not export, will the branch be liable to pay the GST? In this case, branch would be liable to pay GST, am I right? Branch would be liable to pay GST. What do you think? Yes or no? You have given the correct answer that it is not export or service. Will the branch liable to pay the GST? Answer is no. Answer is no. Why no? Because in the exemption notification, the new entry serial number 10F was inserted, not new entry. It was of 2018. Read, please clearly read. Supply service supplied by the establishment of the person in India to the establishment of that person outside India, which are treated as establishment of distinct person in accordance with explanation 1 to section 8. It is exempted in the GST. Will the GST be applicable if the service is exempted? अगर कोई ट्रांजेक्शन एग्जेम्प्ट है क्या उसके ऊपर जीएसटी लगेगा? अगर कोई ट्रांजेक्शन एग्जेम्प्ट है तो क्या उसके ऊपर जीएसटी लगेगा? आंसर इज नो, नॉट. तो नाउ आई एम अनेबल टू अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग विच यू शुड क्लैरिफाई. अब आप मुझे ना एक चीज क्लियर करो. एक तरफ इसको कह दिया, एट वन साइड दे आर सेइंग इट इज नॉट एक्सपोर्ट, and another side they are saying exempted. What is the difference? Ultimately, will the government get the tax? Will the government get the tax? अगर ये एक्सपोर्ट होता तब भी मान लो एलयूटी के रूट से जाता तब भी इसको टैक्स नहीं देना होता, या टैक्स पे करके रिफंड ले लेता तब भी न्यूट्रलिटी जीरो थी. करेक्ट. इफ इट इज नॉट एक्सपोर्ट, उन्होंने नया एग्जेम्पशन नोटिस एक नया सीरियल ऐड कर दिया, मीनिंग देयर बाई द ट्रांजेक्शन के ऊपर गवर्नमेंट को तो कोई टैक्स ही नहीं मिल रहा इन बोथ द सिनेरियो. देन व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? अगर मान लो ये एक्सपोर्ट होता तब भी टैक्स नहीं मिलता, ये एक्सपोर्ट नहीं है तब भी टैक्स नहीं मिल रहा, इज देयर एनी डिफरेंस और सेम थिंग? इज देयर एनी डिफरेंस? आई विल अप्रिशिएट अगर मुझे आप डिफरेंस बता दें कि सर इसमें प्रॉब्लम है, देर इस ट्रांजेक्शन में एक इश्यू है. कैन यू टेल मी, इज दैट सेम और देर इज सम inherent, I can say, taxability or something like that? No, it is not anomaly. It is not. And some part I have already given the answer in this class. In today class only, I have given the answer. To a slight extent, I have given the answer. If you can catch, then tell me. It is not anomaly. It is not anomaly. It is correct provision. Now tell me, what is the difference? One thing I can surely say, in both the situation, government is not getting the tax. अब एक बात बताइए, now, if it is exempted, don't you think that ITC will not be eligible, or you need to reverse the ITC? Then ITC would become the cost. अगर ये ट्रांजेक्शन एग्जेम्प्टेड है, लेट्स से ब्रांच ऑफिस ऑपरेट कर रहा है, he has one building on rent, he has the multiple housekeeping staff, canteen, etc. He has telephone bill, he has computer, he has done multiple expenditure on which there's an input tax credit. If outward supply is exempted, can the branch be eligible to claim the ITC? क्या ब्रांच को वो आईटीसी मिलेगा अगर आउटवर्ड सप्लाई एग्जेम्प्टेड है? अगर ब्रांच का आउटवर्ड सप्लाई एग्जेम्प्टेड है तो क्या इसको आईटीसी मिलेगा? नो आईटीसी सर, नो आईटीसी. अगर आउटवर्ड सप्लाई एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विस है तो आईटीसी मिल जाएगा. अगर आउटवर्ड सप्लाई एक्सपोर्ट है तो आईटीसी मिल जाएगा. यस. नाउ सी, दिस इज द डिफरेंस. आउट में तो आपको कोई भी डिफरेंस नहीं लग रहा होगा, लेकिन इनमें डिफरेंस है. यहां पे आईटीसी मिल जाता है और यहां पे नो आईटीसी, नो आईटीसी. तो माय डियर फ्रेंड, जो कल हम 12 बजे 12 o'clock पे डिस्कशन करेंगे, विल स्टार्ट द डिस्कशन ऑन फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, जो आईटीसी, प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई, वैल्यू ऑफ द सप्लाई, एग्जेम्पशन, आरसीएम, जो एक बड़ा क्वेश्चन आता है ना, उसको कैसे देखना है, कैसे सॉल्व करना है, दैट वी विल डिस्कस इन फर्स्ट कपल ऑफ टाइम, half an hour approx. And then we'll start the balance chapter 1 to chapter 6. Tomorrow agenda would be at 12 o'clock. I'm talking about. We will have the regular class at 6 to 9, in which we will continue. No problem in that. I am setting up the agenda for the tomorrow afternoon class. What would be the agenda? Agenda would be, we'll start with the bigger question, how to see, understand the question, and then solve the question. And then we'll move to the chapter 1 to chapter 6. Important part we will discuss. Now, what is the deemed export? Do you know that what is the deemed export? Anyone who knows the deemed export? A is making the supply to B. O, and B is located in SEZ. A is making the supply to the SEZ unit. Is it a deemed export? Is it a deemed export? The answer is it a deemed export? Answer is no. Answer is no. Sir, why no? एक बात बताइए, जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई में कौन से दो ट्रांजेक्शन कवर है? Which two transaction are covered in the zero rated supplies? Export and SEZ supply na, with authorized operation. If SEZ are already covered in zero rated, why it will be covered in the deemed exports? No. Supply to the SEZ unit is not the deemed export. It is actual equal to export. It is zero rated supply. जिनी अनम्यूट करना, मुझे आंसर देना कि जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई करने के लिए दो रूट होते हैं. We have the two route available for making the zero rated supplies. कौन से दो रूट? If you can tell me.
Sir, first one is without IGST.
Correct.
And second one is through the LUT.
नहीं, without IGST में LUT होता है. See, if I'm doing the transaction without IGST, then I have to furnish the LUT.
Okay.
And second is with IGST. Absolutely correct. हेमंत, एक बात बताना मुझे कि गवर्नमेंट कौन से रूट को रेस्ट्रिक्ट कर सकती है, ऑन IGST वाले, विदाउट IGST वाले? हेमंत, मुझे एक बात बताना कि कौन से रूट को गवर्नमेंट रेस्ट्रिक्ट कर सकती है बाय नोटिफिकेशन?
विदाउट IGST वाले.
विद IGST वाले. ठीक है, हमने डिस्कस किया था एक ट्रांजैक्शन गुड्स का कि इस ट्रांजैक्शन को आप एक्सपोर्ट नहीं कर सकते ऑन IGST में. देख, पहले बात करूं कि ऑन पेमेंट ऑफ IGST को गवर्नमेंट बाय नोटिफिकेशन रेस्ट्रिक्ट कर सकती है सर्टेन कंडीशन एटसेट्रा. तो एज ऑफ नाउ कौन से क्लास ऑफ द गुड्स ऐड हुए हैं? Which class of the goods has been restricted by the government? मैंने एक दो एग्जांपल भी लिया था.
सिन गुड्स.
एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट, थैंक यू बेटा. लाइक जैसे पान मसाला है, टोबैको है, एटसेट्रा. ठीक है, these items cannot be exported on IGST. ठीक है. Now, what is the deemed export? See, benefit has already been given to export. Yes, benefit has already been given to the supply to the SEZ unit or developer. Yes. Now, what is left? Left is EOU. Have you heard the word EOU? Export
unit. Export oriented
unit. Correct. Advance authorization. EPCG license holder. Now the government are saying, if you are making the supply to these license holder, I will use the word, these license holder. Which license? The license is being issued by the Director General of the Foreign Trade, DGFT. We are not going into that detail, but what is my point? My point is the supplies to EOU, supplies to the advance authorization, EPCG license are nothing but the deemed export transaction. Government are saying it can be only for goods. Does not leave India. I'm saying that multiple conditions are there. What are the conditions for deemed export? It should be the goods. Goods does not leave India. Payment, no problem. It can come in INR or it can come in foreign currency, no issue. Last, fourth condition, it should be manufactured in India. These four conditions are satisfied, then what is the meaning of notify? Matlab government will issue the notification. Government has issued the notification and they have added that EOU, advance authorization, and EPCG license, and one more thing, that supply the gold by PSU, then in
Sir,
that case, these supply would be treated as deemed export. Sir,
sir, it is import substitution, right, sir?
it is
Import substitution.
नहीं. दो इंडिया में लोग दो पर्सन है, मिस्टर ए और मिस्टर बी, वो सेल कर रहा है, पर बी के पास में क्या है, बी के पास में एडवांस ऑथराइजेशन का लाइसेंस है, तो इन डोमेस्टिक सेल को मैं डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट मानूंगा. There is no relation with outside India. They are saying that does not leave India. It should be within Indian transaction. It is happening in the Indian taxable territory. Is it clear, na?
Sir, it is import substitution.
मुझे नहीं समझ में आया क्यों ये वर्ड आप यूज कर रहे हो, क्योंकि लॉ, जीएसटी लॉ में कहीं ये वर्ड नहीं है, इंपोर्ट सब्सटीट्यूशन.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You might be comparing with the pre-GST regime. I don't know. You might be comparing with some provision of the DGFT. I don't know. But I know the GST law to some extent, and by which I can say this word import substitution is not there. ठीक है. क्यों किया? Why? To give the refund benefit. To give the refund benefit to supplier or recipient, any one party. When we will go into the refund, we will understand. तो मतलब क्या हुआ? Deemed export is not like zero rated supply. Whether deemed export is zero rated? No. Why no? Because in the zero rated, two transactions are covered: export and SEZ with authorized operation. Correct? SEZ with authorized operation. But what is the deemed export? Four transactions are deemed export: EOU, AA advance authorization, EPCG, and supply the gold by PSU against advance authorization.
Sir, will it be through IGST payment route, or will it be
Yes.
through IGST payment route, sir?
Well, let me complete. Just allow me 2 minutes. Now the important point is whether LUT route is available. Can I file the LUT and do the deemed export without payment of IGST? No, it is not available. You have to pay the IGST. You have to pay the IGST and then take the refund of taxes. मतलब एक बार तो मुझे पे करना पड़ेगा. Whether LUT route is available to the deemed export? Answer is no. It is a domestic transaction. You have to pay the tax and take the refund. Is that clear? हेमंत.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
अब एक बड़े इंपॉर्टेंट ट्रांजेक्शन आते हैं, मर्चेंट एक्सपोर्ट. What is that? Try to understand. This is another type of the transaction. Now, let's say Mr. A is located in Delhi. Okay. Mr. B is located in Mumbai. Okay. And Mr. John is located in USA. A is making the sale of goods to B, and B as it is making the sale to USA. Now, in this case, A is exporter or B is exporter? इस केस में एक्सपोर्टर कौन है? जेनी. जेनी, काइंडली गिव मी द आंसर. हु इज एन एक्सपोर्टर? ए इज एन एक्सपोर्टर और बी इज एन एक्सपोर्टर? एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. एब्सोल्युटली
करेंगे क्या रिपीट?
हाँ हाँ, मैं कह रहा हूं ए दिल्ली में लोकेटेड है. ए ने गुड सेल किया बी को मुंबई में. बी ने माल सेल किया जॉन को. तो यहां पर एक्सपोर्टर ए है कि एक्सपोर्टर बी है?
बी सर.
बी है. क्या ए की सप्लाई बी को और बी की सप्लाई जोन को, तो मैं ए टू बी को डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट बोल दूं ना? कैन आई से दैट ए टू बी इज द डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट? कैन आई से दैट ए टू बी इज द डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट? केसव, हेमंत, जिनी कैन रिप्लाई इन द चैट आल्सो. ए टू बी डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट है क्या? मुझे बताना.
नो सर.
कारण?
सर हमें
लाइसेंस, वो आपने कहा था ना, कोई लाइसेंस.
बहुत बढ़िया, वेरी नाइस बेटा, वेरी नाइस. बिकॉज आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट वेदर बी इज यू. जिनी कुछ बोल रहे हैं आप ना?
ये सर मैं भी वही बोल रही थी जो.
करेक्ट. तो मुझे डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट कब कहना है? व्हेन My customer have these license. मैंने कहा कि कोई लाइसेंस नहीं है. Then will you say that it is a deemed export? No. क्या A to B का ट्रांजेक्शन एक्सपोर्ट है? आंसर इज नो. It means it is normal B to B का transaction liable to GST as per actual tax rate. Let's say the tax rate is 28%. तो A को GST का invoice देना होगा. He will charge the actual tax rate to B. Correct? And we will raise the invoice to Mr. John, and whatever the process are there, he has to do the export on IGST under LUT, whatever. इस केस में B के पास, अच्छा let's take one example. 1 lakh का टोटल वैल्यू है, 28% टैक्स है, तो 28,000 टैक्स है, 1.28 lakh. Then B is sending the goods out of India, let's say under LUT route. Will be able to take ITC? Will be able to take ITC? कितना? How much ITC can take? How much ITC can take? Entire or partial? Without payment of IGST. Without payment of IGST. Will be able to take ITC? Answer is yes, he will be able to take entire 28,000 ITC. Now, ये क्या करेगा ITC का? Will it be wastage or will it be refunded to the Mr. B? क्या इसको refund मिल जाएगा? Yes. तो गवर्नमेंट ने क्या कहा? Try to understand now. गवर्नमेंट ने क्या कहा कि यार बी को कि तुम पहले टैक्स पे करता है 28,000 एंड सब्सिक्वेंटली यू आर कमिंग टू अस एंड टेकिंग द रिफंड. यही होता ना. हाँ, तो गवर्नमेंट ने कहा मैं तुझको एक एडवांटेज और देता हूं. किसको का? बी को का. क्या एडवांटेज देता हूं? कि जो तू परचेज कर रहा है ना, यू आर परचेजिंग ना, यू परचेज एट सब्सिडाइज रेट. व्हाट रेट? 0.1%. नाउ डोंट यू थिंक, मतलब जब ए बी को सेल करेगा, then he will charge only 0.1%. Why, sir? Because this notification is giving this transaction to be taxed at 0.1%. Don't you think this will give the huge advantage to B? Don't you think that B का working capital जितना ब्लॉक होता था पहले, अब काफी कम ब्लॉक होगा? Let's say it is crore. It is crore. Suppose that it is 1 crore. Then the 28 lakh was blocked in the ITC, but now only 0.1% would be blocked. 1 lakh रुपया ब्लॉक होगा. This particular benefit was introduced to give some favor to the exporter. Now what is this? Now try to understand, coming to the main discussion. If supplies by A to B and B as it is, B should be the trader and not the manufacturer. A मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर सकता है, A ट्रेडिंग कर सकता है, A के ऊपर कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. उन्होंने बोला कि B उस पर्टिकुलर गुड्स को एज इट इज एक्सपोर्ट करेगा, तो if we will do the export of these goods as it is, then you can purchase at 0.1%. But this notification has imposed certain condition. If these conditions are being fulfilled, then no problem. You can make the supply to be at 0.1%. The condition किसको fulfill करना है? कुछ B को, कुछ A को. कंडीशन सेल के पहले कंप्लीट करना है या सेल के बाद? कुछ बिफोर, कुछ आफ्टर. In short, I am telling you the condition, but in detail you can refer the condition. The PPT would be available to you. You can download that PPT and then refer in detail. What is the condition? B will make the purchase order specifying the tax at a subsidized rate. अभी आवाज आ रही है ना? माई वॉइस इज कमिंग ना? एक बार कंफर्म करना, इज माई वॉइस कमिंग? एनी प्रॉब्लम? एनी
सर
प्रॉब्लम?
एक्चुअली आ रही है, वो मेरे पार्ट पे थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो गया था।
ठीक है, मैं रिपीट कर देता हूँ, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं। इफ ए इज मेकिंग द सप्लाई टू बी and B is making the supply to John as it is, तो क्या है, मतलब ट्रेडर होना चाहिए बी, then in that case the tax A will charge at 0.1%, but this condition, this notification says that some of the condition has to be complied, has to be fulfilled. कुछ कंडीशन ए को करनी है, कुछ कंडीशन बी के ऊपर है। क्या कंडीशन है? आई एम गिविंग यू द शॉर्ट कंडीशन, बट इन डिटेल यू शुड रेफर द पीपीटी और स्टडी मटेरियल। B should give the purchase order का copy at a subsidized rate, and then this purchase order का copy should also go to the A's का GST officer. Oh, not only to A, but A के GST officer को भी ये जाना चाहिए। B should be registered with the Export Promotion Council और Commodity Board। ठीक है। A should send the goods directly to the port, directly to the port. B should export within 90 days. Shipping bill, so A will make the sale on the basis of tax invoice. On the shipping bill, A का GST number and A का tax invoice number should be there. After that, copy of the shipping bill plus this manifest ka copy, it will go to A as well as go to A's ka GST officer. Last thing, that suppose B like to do the aggregation work. Aggregation means he cannot do the manufacturing, no doubt, but let's say he's purchased from A, P, Q, R, S, T, U, multiple parties purchase, and he like to make it in one box and then like to send the goods to the John. Can he do? Yes, he can do. But in that case, he has to do in the custom bonded warehouse, wherein he need the acknowledgement from warehouse operator on the tax invoice that yes, he has done the aggregation. Warehouse operator का sign stamp चाहिएगा, and then this invoice का copy, acknowledged का copy would be given to A's officer. These all conditions are satisfied, then we can make the supply to be at 0.1%. Please, my dear friend, remember one thing, that if condition not satisfied ना, तो A ने जो subsidized rate लगाया ना, this rate will not be applicable. Then it means A has to pay the actual tax rate. Later on, क्या B मुझे पैसा देगा, नहीं देगा, that all are question mark. But I mean to say, if A is taking the advantage of that notification charging the GST at a lower rate, always preferred that make sure all the conditions are duly complied with. क्या condition है? In short, I have explained, but in detail you can just refer these conditions. You will be able to understand. ठीक है, ठीक है. Now, next part I'm telling you. Rule 96A. केशव, मुझे बता सकते हो एक्सपोर्ट करने के दो रूट? केशव, can you tell me that there are two routes available for exporting the goods? Anyone? Any possibility? Unmute करो अपने आप को और बताओ मुझे कि एक्सपोर्ट
LUT
करने,
route
हाँ, दूसरा
with GST, with IGST.
with IGST. Very nice बेटा, very nice. Then हेमंत, आप मुझे बताना, डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट में गुड्स की ट्रेडिंग ओनली ट्रेडिंग है, इज इट अलाउड? Suppose supplier is trader of the goods and customer is also trader of the goods. Is it okay or is there any problem? मैं डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट की बात कर रहा हूं। जिनी मिस्टेक करो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, डू दी मिस्टेक। लेकिन सबसे अच्छी बात क्या, अगर आप अभी मिस्टेक करोगे ना तो वो आपके माइंड में ना रजिस्टर हो जाएगी ये मिस्टेक, एंड यू विल नेवर डू द मिस्टेक इन फ्यूचर, बिलीव मी। आंसर इज नहीं सर। गुड्स शुड बी मैन्युफैक्चर्ड इन इंडिया। गुड्स शुड बी मैन्युफैक्चर्ड इन इंडिया। कौन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर रहा है नो मैटर, बट इट हैज टू बी मैन्युफैक्चर्ड इन इंडिया। ठीक है। क्या डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट सर्विस का हो सकता है? कैन द डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट बी सर्विसेज ऑल्सो? कैन द डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज ऑल्सो?
No, sir.
Oh, sir.
नो। टेल मी द लास्ट आंसर, लास्ट क्वेश्चन है अभी के लिए, देन विल मूव टू द डिस्कशन अगेन। सप्लाई टू द SEZ unit, supply by SEZ unit, whether both are interstate or any one are interstate. Interstate leviable to IGST, क्या दोनों इंटरस्टेट है, या SEZ टू DTA इंटरस्टेट है, या DTA टू SEZ इंटरस्टेट है, या दोनों
Both.
इंटरस्टेट?
Both are
Both.
interstate, sir.
बोथ आर इंटरस्टेट, करेक्ट। मतलब टैक्स तो IGST लगेगा, राइट?
Yes, sir.
Both are interstate. Very nice, beta, very nice. Now we were talking about the deemed export supply to the SEZ. Is it a deemed export or is it a merchant export? Supply to the SEZ with authorized operation, is it a deemed export or is it a merchant export?
It is just an export, sir.
Very nice. It is not use the word export. If I will use very technical word, then what would be the answer?
Zero rated.
Absolutely.
Zero supply, yes.
हेमंत बिल्कुल ठीक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है आंसर में, बट मैं आपको कहां घुमाना चाहता था, आई वॉज ट्राइंग टू मेक इट कंफ्यूजन बाय यूजिंग, बिकॉज मैंने दो ही वो ऑप्शन दिया ना आपको, डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट मर्चेंट एक्सपोर्ट। नहीं सर, ना तो डीम्ड है ना मर्चेंट है। द ओनली बेनिफिट दैट इट हैज बीन गिवन दैट यस इट इज ए जीरो रेटेड सप्लाईज। हाँ, तो डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट, इफ आई हैव फर्निश्ड द LUT, आई कैन डू द डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट विदाउट पेमेंट ऑफ IGST। इज इट करेक्ट? Can I do the deemed export after furnishing the LUT? Then can I say that deemed export will be without payment of IGST?
No, sir. With LUT.
With
With always
With
IGST,
payment of
sir.
IGST. Sorry, sir. With payment of IGST.
with payment of IGST. हेमंत बताना ऐसा क्यों? हेमंत, kindly tell me why LUT, even after furnishing the LUT, I am not able to do the deemed export transaction without payment of IGST. ऐसा क्यों?
Because they have given the refund facility. I
Correct. केशव कुछ पॉइंट ऐड करेंगे? Anything would you like to add? My question is कि even after furnishing the LUT, deemed export में without payment वाला रूट, without payment of IGST क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि LUT का रूट has been given to zero rated supply. LUT का रूट has been given to the zero rated supplies, that is export and SEZ का supply. If you have not exported or if you have not made the SEZ supply, in that case LUT will not work for you. Rule 96. What is the LUT? LUT is the undertaking. LUT is an undertaking to the government that yes, I will do the export within 3 months. If it is goods, I will do the export of goods within 3 months, or if it is services, then I will bring the realization. If it is a services, then I will bring the realization in the foreign currency within a period of 1 year. If I will fail means either I will not be able to do the export within 3 months or not bring the foreign currency in the 1 year In the failure of the case, Rule 96A says that within 15 days after the expiry of this 3 months, I have to make the payment of IGST. क्या मतलब हुआ? Try to understand. Letter of undertaking, which is to be furnished in this RFD 11, is an undertaking to the government. Self undertaking है कि मैं अपने आप गवर्नमेंट को पे कर दूंगा. कब? अगर गुड्स का केस है 3 महीने में एक्सपायर नहीं, 3 महीने में एक्सपोर्ट नहीं किया. सर्विस के केस में 1 साल में अमाउंट ब्रिंग करके नहीं लाया. In that case, within 15 days after the expiry of this period, I will make the payment to the government. अगर मैं नहीं करता हूं, if I will not make the payment, then my subsequent export would always be on IGST. जो LUT वाला रूट है ना, वो बंद हो जाएगा मेरे लिए. The route of LUT will be stopped. Details. So these are the returns which we have already discussed that you will furnish in the GSTR1. It will be automatically, ठीक है, electronically transmitted to the custom. See, होता क्या, अब यहां से एक चीज समझिएगा. Now try to understand one good thing. अभी हमने बात की एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स की, लेट से विद पेमेंट, एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विस विद पेमेंट, export of the goods under LUT, export of service under LUT. This route याद कर लेना. Export of the goods with payment of IGST, it is automatic refund route. Means you are not required to do anything. Your payment will get credited in your bank account automatically. Why? It says that when the supplier exporter will file the GSTR1, then data will goes to ICAI. Anyone who heard the name, एक बार chat में बताना. Anyone who heard the name of this particular term which I have used? किसी ने नाम ही सुना है? आइस गेट.
हाँ, कभी सर जीमेल पे मेल आता था, कभी कुछ ऐसा कुछ मैंने
क्या होता है?
मेल देखा है.
क्या होता है?
वो नहीं पता.
No problem. You know the GST portal?
यस सर.
Yeah, I saw it on the CBIC site.
Okay. क्या पर्पज है इस गेट का? मतलब क्या है? Now try to understand. Custom, you know the custom, right? Like GST is an indirect tax. The government has made one portal, GST portal, जिसमें क्या होता है, मुझे रिटर्न्स फाइल करना होता है, मुझे पेमेंट करना होता है टैक्स का, whatever I will do in the GST portal. In the same manner, government has made one custom का portal named as IceGate. It means if I have to make the payment of taxes, let's say on bill of entry, I will pay the tax through IceGate only. IceGate is the custom portal and GST का portal we all know. I am exporter. I will report my export का transaction in the GSTR1. It will automatically transmitted to custom portal. What is the beauty? Shipping line company will file the shipping bill. Now the shipping bill is available in the custom portal, that is IceGate. My sale is also goes to the IceGate. If both match, a refund will be initiated by the government. Exporter does not require to file any refund application in one case. What is the case? Export of goods on IGST. इसमें कंफ्यूज मत होना कि क्या मैंने अगर सप्लाई की है एसईजेड को गुड्स की ऑन पेमेंट ऑफ आईजीएसटी अवेलेबल है, नहीं। सर्विस करता हूं आईजीएसटी ऑटोमेटिक रूट है, नहीं। सिर्फ ये पॉसिबिलिटी सिर्फ एक सिंगल ट्रांजेक्शन में है कि एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ द गुड्स ऑन पेमेंट ऑफ आईजीएसटी, दिस रूट को उन्होंने ऑटोमेटिक बना दिया। इज दैट क्लियर? फाइन। अब क्या हुआ? इन दैट केस इफ आई विल नॉट एक्सपोर्ट विद इन 90 days, देन आई हैव टू पे द अमाउंट ऑफ टैक्सेस, एंड इफ I have failed, then further export will not be allowed on under LUT. LUT will be withdrawn and it will be restored automatically when I will not restored automatically. It will be restored on payment of respective tax. Now हम बार बार एक वर्ड पढ़ते हैं LUT स्लैश बॉन्ड। हम बार बार एक वर्ड पढ़ते हैं LUT स्लैश बॉन्ड। गवर्नमेंट ने इनिशियली देयर वाज ए रिक्वायरमेंट टू मेक द बॉन्ड, बट लेटर ऑन क्या हुआ, उन्होंने, ये अक्टूबर 17 की बात है, the requirement of the bond has been dispensed except in case of the default. मतलब अगर कोई पर्सन डिफॉल्ट कर रहा है, if any person is making the default of more than 250 lakh rupees जीएसटी का, in that case अगर वो एक्सपोर्ट करना चाहता है तो एलयूटी का ऑप्शन अवेलेबल नहीं है। he has to furnish the bond and then do the export, otherwise he has to pay the IGST. मैंने आपको कहा था ना कि अगर वो टैक्स का पेमेंट नहीं करता है 250 लाख से ज्यादा, देन ही बिकम द डिफॉल्टर। एंड वो डिफॉल्ट जो है, इफ दैट डिफॉल्ट इज देयर फॉर मोर देन 250 लाख, इन दैट केस एलयूटी का रूट अवेलेबल नहीं है, देन ही हैज टू फर्निश द बॉन्ड, जो श्योरिटी बॉन्ड होता है, बैंक से कम्युनिकेट करके कुछ करना होता है, then he has to furnish the bond and then only you can do the export. And this provision, whatever we have discussed, will also be applicable to the SEZ unit or developer. This is all about of Rule 96A. Circular एक आया था, circular it says that suppose, now very interesting question, अभी मैंने क्या रूट ऑप्ट किया था, एक्सपोर्ट विदाउट पेमेंट ऑफ आईजीएसटी, ठीक है, बट 90 days में एक्सपोर्ट नहीं कर पाया मैं। If I will not be able to do the export of 90 days, then I have to pay the IGST. जो भी टैक्स, जो भी है मेरी लाइबिलिटी, आई हैव टू पे। डाउट ये आया, क्या मैंने जो पेमेंट किया उसका रिफंड मिलेगा? इट हैज बीन क्लैरिफाइड, पैरा 44 ऑफ द सर्कुलर 197, that the above clarification that as long as goods are actually exported, as the SMB payment is realized in the foreign currency, the benefit of the zero rated cannot be. See, एक बात very very clear है कि if the underlying transaction is export, whatever you have done the procedural non-compliance, but your substantive benefit for export will never be denied. और वही CBIC का पर्पस रहा है, they have given the lot of circular in this regard. What is the clarification? Now read this clarification. It is also clarified that in case of the subsequent export of the goods or services, exporter would be entitled to claim the refund of IGST paid. मतलब A is an exporter of the goods. He cannot do the export within a period of 90 days. Or let's say services, so he could not bring the foreign currency within a period of 1 year. Then क्या करना पड़ेगा? अगर ए ने एक्सपोर्ट किया आफ्टर द एक्सपायरी ऑफ द 30 days, तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? अंडर एलयूटी रूट, व्हाट टू डू? इफ ए हैज एक्सपोर्टेड द गुड्स, लेट्स से आफ्टर द एक्सपायरी ऑफ द 90 days अंडर एलयूटी रूट, तो ए को क्या करना पड़ेगा? ए हैज टू पे द टैक्स along with interest. Now I'm adding the word along with interest. A has to pay the tax along with interest. Then जो भी उसने टैक्स पे किया है, he can claim the refund, would be entitled to claim the refund of IGST paid. एंड रेड लाइन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट है, इंटरेस्ट जो आपने पे कर दिया उसका रिफंड नहीं मिलेगा. ठीक. In this case, they have clarified that you have to select excess payment of tax. Till the time it is not available, kindly select any other. So there are multiple category which they have given clarified that yes, you can select this category, but that is not our part of the discussion. But yes, last circular for this chapter, then we'll move gradually to the refund concept. What is this? Circular 108 says that suppose I am sending the goods to out of India for exhibition purpose. I am from Delhi. I am sending the goods for exhibition purpose. So multiple doubt tha. Do I need to make the invoice? Do I need to file the LUT compulsory? If I like to go for IGST, what happen if the goods are coming within 6 months, not coming within 6 months, what happen? All the question is being answered in the circular 108. The circular says, if you are sending the goods out of India for exhibition, will there be any consideration? No, there will not be any consideration. It is only for showcase purpose. In that case, it has been clarified that because you are not taking any consideration, tell me one thing, for supply, there are two important conditions are there, or the two important points are there, तभी मैं ऐसे ट्रांजेक्शन को अपना सप्लाई कहता हूं. क्या है वो? What are the two transactions which are necessary for treating that transaction as supply? One is business and second is consideration. उन्होंने वहां से लिंक किया. They have linked this point from concept, basic concept. In circular 108, they are saying sending the goods to out of India only for promotion. Will it have any consideration? No. If it is not the consideration, क्या ये transaction supply है? Answer is no. एक बताना, transaction without consideration, can it be a supply? Transaction without consideration, can it be a supply? क्या बात है, वेरी नाइस अमन बेटा, वेरी नाइस. विदाउट कंसिडरेशन क्या मेरा ट्रांजेक्शन सप्लाई बन सकता है? एनी रेफरेंस ऑफ शेड्यूल एटसेट्रा? एनी रेफरेंस टू शेड्यूल एटसेट्रा? The prima facie answer would be no, but yes, there is one schedule, that is schedule 1. If the transaction is of the schedule 1 which does not have any consideration, still it will be treated as supply. हाँ, तो coming back, circular 108 ने क्या कहा कि you are sending the goods for exhibition purpose. It is not for sale, so there would be no consideration. If consideration is not there and it is not covered in the schedule 1, then transaction itself would be no supply. Transaction cannot be supply, and if it is not a supply, it cannot be zero rated supply also. Therefore, it has been clarified no tax invoice is required. However, they are saying this movement should be on the basis of the delivery challan, point number 1, and this goods which you are sending, it should come back within a period of 6 months. Rule 55 के अकॉर्डिंग चालान बनाना है और मैं जो गुड्स भेज रहा हूं ये वापस आ जाना चाहिए 6 मंथ में. नहीं आता है, it will be treated as a supply and you need to pay the tax. They have clarified that yes, you need to prepare this detail in this below annexure, and this is all about 31(7) का रेफरेंस देते हुए कहा उन्होंने कि yes, it is a supply after the expiry of the 1 year, sorry 6 month. एक इंपॉर्टेंट बात और है, that it is a sales on approval, delivery challan, not a zero rated supply. If the goods are sold within the time period of 6 months, then they have to make the tax invoice and LUT route will be there and not required to submit the LUT before the transaction. This para is last para is important. Can I claim the refund? They're saying it is clarified that sender can prefer the refund claim when the specified goods were sent without execution of bond or LUT if he is otherwise eligible for refund. तो उन्होंने क्या कहा कि as per these provision 54(3) and rule 89(4) you are entitled to claim the refund no problem in respect of zero dated supply of the goods after he has issued the tax invoice. It is further clarified that refund cannot be preferred under rule 96. मतलब क्या हुआ? You cannot do the export on IGST route. That is all about. Let's take a break of another 10 minutes and then we'll switch to the refund part slightly. Today we will discuss some part of the refund. Tomorrow we will complete at same time 6 to 9. अशोक जी एक बार ब्रेक स्टार्ट कर दीजिए 5 मिनट का, ओनली फॉर 5 मिनट. circular etc. Now let me start with the refund part. ठीक है. The point is, so today I will start and the basic point, and then we will complete tomorrow in this class 6 to 9. Refund can be because of multiple categories. Refund can be under on export of goods on payment of IGST, export of service on payment of IGST, or these export can be without IGST, then also refund would be entitled. Deemed export, supplier or recipient can take excess payment of tax. There is a concept of inverted duty structure we will discuss. So there are multiple categories under which the refund is entitled. What is the meaning of refund? Refund means refund of the taxes paid on zero rated supplies on input and input service used in making zero rated supplies, or refund of the taxes as deemed export, or refund of unutilized ITC as provided in 54 subsection 3. We'll understand, but only one point here I like to highlight, that they have used the word input. They've used the word input service for zero rated supplies. You know that ITC can be on account of input. ITC can be on account of input service, and one more thing was there ना, ITC input का भी हो सकता है, input service का भी हो सकता है, या तीसरा क्या चीज है? ITC
Capital
can be
goods.
capital goods. Very nice. So if you are following the letter of undertaking route, if you are doing the zero rated supplies under LUT route, then the definition says that you are entitled refund of input, refund of input service. क्या मतलब हुआ? LUT रूट में एक्सपोर्ट और SEZ की सप्लाई के लिए कैपिटल गुड्स का रिफंड नहीं मिलेगा. In other word, I can say, if I'm making the if I'm doing the supply on payment of IGST, I would be entitled to take the refund of all component. ऐसे इसको अब एग्जाम्पल के माध्यम से समझते हैं. We will try to understand with the help of example.
So
Okay,
why it
taxes.
is so, sir? Why it is so, sir?
They are restricting. So they have the power to restrict. So they are saying that if you are exporting with under LUT, you can take the refund of input, you can take the refund of input service, but we will not give you the refund of capital goods. एज्यूम करो आपकी टोटल एक्सपोर्ट सेल के ऊपर लाइबिलिटी 1 लाख रुपीस की है. यू हैव द एक्सपोर्टेड सर्टेन गुड्स और सर्विसेज, और द लाइबिलिटी इज रुपीज 1 lakh. यू हैव द ITC ऑफ इनपुट, मतलब रॉ मटेरियल कुछ भी गुड्स मान लीजिए, let's say 50,000. You have the input service, let's say 25,000, and you have the capital goods, let's say 15,000. If you are exporting the goods under LUT route, how much amount you need to pay at the time of supply? If you are exporting under LUT route, what is the amount you need to pay at the time of supply? कितना पे करोगे? 1 lakh. If you are exporting under LUT, how much liability you need to pay? Zero. Why zero, sir? Recall, what are the two routes available for payment of for export? One is with IGST and one is without IGST. If I am going without IGST, If I'm going without IGST, for that I need to file the LUT. अगर मैंने LUT फाइल कर दिया, कितना मुझे IGST पे करना पड़ेगा फॉर एक्सपोर्ट? 0, क्योंकि ये रूट ही तो विदाउट IGST का है. इज इट क्लियर? एक बार कंफर्म करना बच्चा. क्लियर हुआ कि यहां पर आपकी टैक्स लाइबिलिटी 0 है. तो नथिंग, कुछ भी यूज होगा नहीं. Are you entitled to take the refund? Yes, I will file the refund application RFD1 and I will ask the refund of कितना? 50,000, 75,000 या 90,000? कितना रिफंड मिलेगा? 50, 25, 15 या पूरा 90,000? How much refund I will get? I would be entitled to claim the refund amount. कितना मिलेगा मुझे रिफंड?
75.
Absolutely correct. 50 plus 25, हेमंत एंड केशव, मुझे कितना रिफंड मिलेगा? पूरा 75 मिलेगा. मतलब किसका नहीं मिलेगा? आई एम नॉट एंटाइटल्ड टू टेक द रिफंड ऑफ कैपिटल गुड्स. ये बात क्लियर हुई सभी को? एक बार कंफर्म करना. इज दिस क्लियर टू ऑल? फाइन. मुझे रिपीट करना हो तो मुझे बता देना. आई विल रिपीट. आई वोंट माइंड एट ऑल टू रिपीट. Now let's say if he has followed the route on payment of IGST and assume that it is service, export or service. I have routed on payment of IGST. मुझे बताइए how much liability, how much amount I need to pay? क्यों? How much amount I need to pay at the time of supply? जो मुझे GST रिटर्न में, आंसर इज 1 lakh. Now, if I have liability of 1 lakh, can I use the ITC of input service in capital goods? 50, 25 और 15, क्या मैं तीनों को यूज कर सकता हूं या इन दो को यूज कर सकता हूं या सिर्फ इसको यूज कर सकता हूं? For discharging the liability, can I use all ITC or I have to use for input or input service or only capital goods? My dear friend, in section 49, you have read the provision of settlement, offsetting the liability. If it is an IGST liability, you can use the ITC of any component, even input service and capital goods. You will use entire 90,000. How much amount you will pay in cash? How much amount of the IGST liability you will pay in cash? कितना कैश में पे करोगे इस ट्रांजेक्शन पर? आंसर इज डिफरेंशियल.
10,000.
Absolutely correct. 10,000. Now, if you file the refund application, how much refund will be given? जितना टैक्स पे किया उतना रिफंड मिल जाएगा. ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, ट्राई टू लिसन माय वर्ड. इफ आई एम following the route of on IGST, whatever amount I paid, I can take the refund. Now tell me how much I have paid in this transaction. कितना मैंने पे किया? How much I have paid जिसका मुझे रिफंड मिलेगा? How much I have paid of which I can take the refund? Sir, this payment is by two component. In the cash you have paid 10,000 and in the form of ITC you have paid 90,000. Total I have paid rupees 1 lakh. Entire 1 lakh would be refunded. Entire 1 lakh would be refunded. So, in other word, I can say, if I am exporting on payment of IGST, indirectly I can take the refund of capital goods. I'm using the word indirectly. I'm not using the word directly. So directly तो मिलता नहीं है ना. Directly, whatever the liability is there, you need to take the refund of that liability. How much amount I have paid? 1 lakh. Might be I have paid through ITC or might be I have taken or I have given the cash to discharge the liability. No problem. जितना amount आपकी liability है, whether paid from ITC or cash, immaterial, entire amount would be refunded. In other words, can I say one big advantage on payment of IGST that you can take the refund of capital goods indirectly and LUT you cannot take the refund of capital goods. Is this clear or not? एक बार confirm करना. Is this clear or not? Clear. Tell me in which case the refund is automatic. I am not required to file the refund application. कौन सा ऐसा situation है जहां पर refund automatic है? I am not required to file any refund application.
Sir, export of goods with IGST.
Very nice बेटा. मतलब मैं एक्सपोर्ट कर रहा हूं किसका? गुड्स का, और ये भी विद IGST. ये ऑटोमेटिक क्यों है? क्योंकि जब कोई GSTR1 फाइल करता है एक्सपोर्टर, तो यहां से डेटा एक बार बताना कौन सी वेबसाइट में जाता है? एक पोर्टल का नाम बताया था कस्टम का.
आइस गेट.
आइस गेट.
एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट बेटा, आइस गेट में जाता है. और शिपिंग बिल जैसी शिपिंग लाइन कंपनी है तो वॉइस गेट में जाता है. दोनों मैच होता है. अगर बोथ आर मैचिंग टू ईच अदर, रिफंड विल बी गिवन टू द एक्सपोर्टर बैंक अकाउंट. ये सिर्फ विद IGST में है. ये सिर्फ विद IGST में. क्विकली टेल मी इन विच केस आई कैन नॉट एक्सपोर्ट विद IGST. चैट में बताना, एक बार बोल के मत बताना, चैट में बताना इन विच केस आई कांट डू द एक्सपोर्ट विद IGST. एक बार क्विकली बताओ किस केस में मैं IGST का रूट फॉलो नहीं कर सकता. In which case I cannot do the export of goods on IGST. In which case I cannot do the export with IGST. कंपल्सरी LUT में जाएगा. भूल गए आप? सिन प्रोडक्ट क्लियर है? इज इट क्लियर? लेट्स मूव फर्दर. That you all know. Now let's read 54. This is refund. Any person. Have you, whether they've used the word any registered person? Whether they use the word taxable person? No. They have neither used taxable nor used registered. They are saying any person. It means even unregistered is also a person. Na? Unregistered is also a person. Person तो है. कहने का मतलब क्या हुआ कि अगर circumstances permit करती है, in that case unregistered person is also entitled to take the refund. किस केस में? Will, if law permit, in that case unregistered person is also entitled to take the refund. So then your counter question would be, how we will file the refund application? If he is not registered, now we know everything is online. How we will file the refund application? Go to the GST portal. These three services are being made available to unregistered person. GST पोर्टल में एक ऑप्शन है होम सर्विसेज, यूजर सर्विसेज, जनरेट यूजर आईडी फॉर अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन. तो ये तीन ऐसे ट्रांजेक्शन हैं जो GST लॉ परमिट करता है टू अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन ऑल्सो, to ensure that he can do the process through GST portal. They have made specific login for unregistered person so that he can do the three activity. For that, he has to go for generate the user ID. That is altogether different point. I am not going to that detail. But yes, the answer is unregistered person is also entitled to take the refund. A person claiming the refund of tax and interest make an application. What is the time limit to take the refund? 2 years. Will the 2 year be counted from the due date of the return? Payment of taxes when? Relevant date. What is the meaning of relevant date? Detailed explanation. Detailed explanation. The relevant date are different according to the transaction wise. If it is an export of the goods, date when goods are leaving India. If it is deemed export, due date of the return. क्या मतलब हुआ कि आपका टाइम लिमिट सभी केस में 2 साल है, बट जो रिलेवेंट डेट उन्होंने डिफाइन की है वो रिलेवेंट डेट हर एक केस में अलग अलग हो सकती है. देयरफॉर we need to understand what is the meaning of relevant date. Yes, हम समझ लेंगे, बट याद रखना relevant date से 2 साल है. If the person like to claim the refund of cash, yes, he can claim the refund at any time. 2 year का जो बाउंडेशन है not applicable. Circular 166 has clarified that in case of the refund of excess balance in the cash ledger, no time limit. Now see. Now try to see. Read the thing. Give me the answer. These 5 examples are there. In all such cases, the person has huge accumulated ITC because he has purchased the goods, huge ITC, but कोई sale नहीं है entire financial year में. Whether he is entitled to go for ITC refund. Example 2, assume that he has expired and his son like to continue that business. Can he take the refund of ITC lying in the ledger? Third example, A has expired and son does not like to continue that business. He is like to close. But here's the ITC. Can he take the refund? A has surrendered the GST number, use ITC. Can he take the refund? XYZ merged with the PQR. Can PQR take the refund? Now read all 5 example. Give me the answer in which case the person is entitled to take the refund of ITC. कौन सा ऐसा केस है जहां पर उसको आईटीसी का रिफंड मिल सकता है? केस नंबर 3. ओके, हेमंत सिंह केस 3 में मिल जाएगा. एनीवन एल्स? नो केस. अच्छा, केशव इज सेइंग नो. ठीक है. any other participant? ज्ञानेंद्र, जिनी, पूनम, anyone? No. No answer? Yes. किसी भी केस में रिफंड नहीं मिलेगा. क्यों? इस बात को ध्यान से समझिएगा. इस बात को ध्यान से समझिएगा. आईटीसी का रिफंड गवर्नमेंट ने बोला कभी नहीं मिलेगा एक्सेप्ट 2 केस. गवर्नमेंट ने क्या बोला 54 सबसेक्शन 3 में कि मैं आपको आईटीसी का रिफंड सिर्फ 2 सिचुएशन में दूंगा. एक तो उन्होंने कहा जीरो रेटेड सप्लाईज अंडर एलयूटी, और दूसरा एक नया टर्म उन्होंने विकसित किया, इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर। ये क्या होता है वे हम बात करेंगे, बट उन्होंने कहा कि आईटीसी का रिफंड सिर्फ दो सिचुएशन में परमिट है। कौन कौन सी? एक जीरो रेटेड सप्लाईज अंडर एलयूटी एंड दूसरा इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर। वी ऑल नो द जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई मतलब एक्सपोर्ट एंड एसईजेड, करेक्ट, विद ऑथराइज्ड ऑपरेशन। अगर आप एलयूटी के रूट में जाते हो तो रिफंड ले सकते हो। यहाँ पे रिफंड आपको इनपुट का मिलेगा, इनपुट सर्विस का मिलेगा या कैपिटल गुड्स, सभी का मिल जाएगा। हियर यू विल एंटाइटल टू टेक द रिफंड ऑफ विच कैटेगरी? इनपुट, इनपुट सर्विस, कैपिटल गुड्स या तीनों का?
इनपुट सर्विस।
Absolutely correct. You are entitled to take the refund of input and input service. यहां पे गवर्नमेंट ने कहा इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर में आपको रिफंड मिलेगा सिर्फ इनपुट का। मतलब अगर इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर है, यू कांट टेक द रिफंड ऑफ कैपिटल गुड्स एज वेल एज यू कांट टेक द रिफंड ऑफ इनपुट सर्विस। Now this matter has been settled in Supreme Court, so now there is no ambiguity argument कि इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी में हमें क्यों रिफंड सिर्फ इनपुट का दिया जाता है। नो रिफंड फॉर इनपुट सर्विस, नो रिफंड फॉर कैपिटल गुड्स, वाई सो? नो आर्ग्यूमेंट, यस, इट इज अबाउट द लॉ। तो आपको ये बात कहां मिलेगी? नाउ गो टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। It says that no refund of ITC allowed other than export made SEZ made without payment of IGST and where the credit has accumulated on account of the rate of the taxes on input being higher than the rate of the taxes. What is the inverted duty? जब मैं परचेज करता हूं तो ज्यादा रेट है और जब मैं सेल करता हूं तो रेट कम है। एग्जाम्पल, let's talk about I am into the garment industries. When I'm purchasing the fabric, let's say I'm paying 12%, but when I'm making the sale, it is only 5%. Is it inverted duty? Yes. Are you entitled to take the refund? Yes. They have made some more restriction which we will discuss in the next class. अभी और क्या बात करना है? Let's see. So, refund of unutilized ITC shall not be allowed. अगर आप goods export कर रहे हैं which are subject to the export duty, you can't take the refund. Refund is not allowed if supplier has availed the drawback in respect of CGST. अगर supplier ने drawback claim किया, see for one transaction, not entitled to take double advantage. अगर सप्लायर ने ड्रॉबैक का रिफंड, ड्रॉबैक अवेल किया है, ड्यूटी ड्रॉबैक का स्कीम अवेल किया है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू सेंट्रल टैक्स, तो उसे आईटीसी का रिफंड नहीं मिलेगा। एंड लास्ट इज, अगर वो एक ट्रांजेक्शन पर आईजीएसटी का रिफंड ले चुका है, लेट्स से ऑन पेमेंट ऑफ आईजीएसटी, तो फिर उसमें अंडर एलयूटी का रूट ऑप्शन अवेलेबल नहीं है। एक्सपोर्ट के एक ही ट्रांजेक्शन पर वो एक ही तरह का रिफंड ले सकता है, इधर आईजीएसटी पेड और एलयूटी रूट, आईटीसी का रिफंड। If the supplier claim the refund of accumulated ITC without payment of IGST, he can claim the drawback of only basic custom duty and cannot claim the drawback of the taxes under central tax. Why? Because अगर उसने drawback ले लिया, he cannot take the refund. It is clarified that अगर कोई supplier avail the drawback in respect of the duties under custom, he shall be eligible to refund of unutilized ITC. It is also clarified that refund of eligible credit shall be available if the supplier has availed the drawback in respect of central tax. तो कौन सा drawback अगर claim कर लिया तब भी उसे refund मिल जाएगा, that is central tax. So there was small confusion कि it is clarified that yes कि आपको रिफंड नहीं मिलेगा अगर आप जो गुड्स एक्सपोर्ट करें that are subject to the export duty. So अगर एक्सपोर्ट ड्यूटी है तो नहीं मिलेगा, क्लियर. बट डाउट ये था जो कस्टम का टैरिफ है उसमें एक्सपोर्ट ड्यूटी का रेट नील है, तो क्या माना जाएगा? विल I be considered that it is subject to the export duty nil and therefore I cannot claim the refund of ITC? ये बात उन्होंने क्लैरिफाई की सर्कुलर में कि दैट सब्जेक्ट टू एक्सपोर्ट ड्यूटी मींस जहां पे एक्चुअल में लेविएबल है. अगर सिर्फ नील है इट कैन नॉट बी कंसिडर्ड सब्जेक्ट टू एक्सपोर्ट ड्यूटी. उन्होंने कहा कि एक्चुअल सब्जेक्ट टू एक्सपोर्ट ड्यूटी होना चाहिए, then only this restriction is being covered, otherwise no issue. In case my outward supply is within India but the supply is exempted, can I take the refund of accumulated ITC? Just say yes or no.
नो.
Answer is no. And if I say why no, then just small go back. It says that refund of ITC is allowed in two cases. One is export zero rated. Second is where tax on input is higher and the output is lower. तो मैं कह सकता हूं कि मेरा आउटपुट जीरो है बट इनपुट में टैक्स पे करो. So is it inverted duty? Answer is no, because it says that it will not include exempt supply, nil rated supply. अगर मेरी आउटपुट टैक्स लाइबिलिटी निल है या जीरो या एग्जेम्प्टेड है, आई विल नॉट बी एंटाइटल्ड टू टेक द रिफंड ऑफ माय आईटीसी. मैं इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी में फॉल नहीं कर रहा. दिस सिचुएशन हैज एक्सक्लूडेड फ्रॉम द लॉ कि इस केस में मुझे रिफंड नहीं देना है. ज्ञानेंद्र आवाज आ रही है मेरी? पूनम रानी आवाज आ रही है? जस्ट कंफर्म. Now tell me second situation. Give me the answer in the chat. The answer is?
No, sir, we cannot take the credit.
Answer is yes. Why yes? I have already explained. भूल गया. You remember this line I have explained in the export chapter as well. 16(2) of IGST Act, ITC मिलेगा भले वो सप्लाई एग्जेम्प्टेड है और लेकिन एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. इफ यू आर मेकिंग द जीरो रेटेड सप्लाईज इवन दो द अंडरलाइन सप्लाई इज एग्जेम्प्टेड, यू आर एंटाइटल्ड टू टेक आईटीसी. और अगर मैंने आईटीसी लिया, आई वुड डेफिनेटली बी एलिजिबल टू गो फॉर द रिफंड बिकॉज एक्यूमुलेटेड आईटीसी का रिफंड आपको एक्सपोर्ट में मिलता है. आई हैव गिवन द एग्जांपल ऑफ मिल्क. यू रिमेंबर मैंने मिल्क का एग्जांपल दिया था कि मिल्क मैं विद इन इंडिया सेल कर रहा हूं और मिल्क मैं इंडिया के बाहर भी सेल कर रहा हूं. Clear na? So I would be entitled to take the refund. 16(2) says you are entitled to take ITC. Yes. 54(3) says you are entitled to take refund. Now read this. Read this question and there are option A, B, C, D. Give me the answer based on your understanding. whether realization is mandatory in case of the goods before refund application. Question is different. Can I go for the refund application? Can I apply for the refund for goods and services?
In goods, yes, sir. We can apply in the case of goods. In the for services, we required BRC copy.
Oh, Gyanendra, क्या
Yes, sir.
बात है. Very nice. I'm looking first time. Is it? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
ऐसा मत करो बेटा. पॉसिबल उसके क्लास में होना, मजा आता है यार डिस्कशन करने में. ठीक है, प्लीज प्लीज टेक केयर. अगर पॉसिबल है तो सब्जेक्ट टू आप लोग ऑलरेडी बहुत ऑक्यूपाइड होंगे, प्रोबेबली कुछ क्लासेस होगी ऑलरेडी, कुछ आपके पास में आर्टिकलशिप का प्रेशर होगा. एवरीथिंग इज एक्सेप्टेबल बट कम, क्योंकि ये जो डिस्कशन में मजा आता है ना, डिस्कशन में जो कंपटीशन क्रिएट होता है ना अमंग द पार्टिसिपेंट, दैट इज विल गिव ह्यूज एडवांटेज. थैंक यू सो मच. बात है कि अब मैं बात करता हूं एक्सपोर्ट के लिए. उसका मैं अगर एक्सपोर्ट करता हूं, नाउ ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, आई एम आस्किंग डिफरेंट क्वेश्चन. अगर मैं गुड्स का एक्सपोर्ट करता हूं, इज इट मैंडेटरी दैट अमाउंट शुड कम इन द फॉरेन करेंसी एज पर द डेफिनेशन ऑफ एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स? गिव मी आंसर इन चैट. मैंने एक्सपोर्ट किया गुड्स का, क्या ये एक्सपोर्ट तभी माना जाएगा जब मुझे रियलाइजेशन मिले? विल इट बी कंसिडर्ड एज एक्सपोर्ट only after only when I realize the amount in the foreign currency? No, not necessary. क्योंकि एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स की डेफिनेशन क्या है ज्ञानेंद्र? एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स की डेफिनेशन क्या है?
On filing of shipping bill, it is deemed export. Considered deemed export. Material exported. On filing of bill of entry and late export order once come.
Okay, Kesav, any idea कि what is the definition of export of goods? Absolutely correct, Heman. One condition that just going India to out of India, India to out of India, प्रैक्टिकली कैसे प्रूव होगा? जैसे ज्ञानेंद्र ने बताया, बिल ऑफ एंटर इज द प्रूफ. मैं गुड्स को इंडिया से आउट ऑफ इंडिया ले जा रहा हूं, दैट इज द ओनली कंडीशन. तो देयरफॉर बिकॉज एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स की डेफिनेशन में रियलाइजेशन की कोई कंडीशन नहीं है, फॉरेन करेंसी की कोई कंडीशन नहीं है, तो इसीलिए गुड्स के केस में आप रिफंड अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. यू कैन अप्लाई द रिफंड इवन विदाउट रियलाइजेशन. बट एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ द सर्विस, इज इट कंडीशन ना कि द अमाउंट शुड कम इन द फॉरेन करेंसी? इज इट द कंडीशन फॉर एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विस दैट अमाउंट शुड कम इन द फॉरेन करेंसी? आंसर इज यस. अगर फॉरेन करेंसी में नहीं आता है, will it be export? If amount does not come in the foreign currency, will it be export of service? No. So therefore, service का transaction is entitled to called as export only if amount is being received in the foreign currency. तो इसीलिए आप सर्विस के केस में रिफंड एप्लीकेशन फाइल नहीं कर सकते. सॉरी, एक सेकेंड. आप सर्विस के केस में मैंडेटरी बिफोर रिफंड एप्लीकेशन रियलाइजेशन ऑफ द फॉरेन करेंसी आना जरूरी है? आंसर इज यस. सर्विस के केस में आना जरूरी है, गुड्स के केस में आना जरूरी नहीं है. व्हाट वुड बी द राइट आंसर? गुड्स नो, सर्विस यस. एनी एग्रीड? इज इट क्लियर टू ऑल? एक बार कंफर्म करना. जेनी, हेमंत, केशव एंड एवरीवन, ज्ञानेंद्र, पूनम, इज इट क्लियर टू ऑल? ठीक है. सो आज का डिस्कशन हम यहीं पे कंप्लीट करते हैं. लास्ट 10 मिनट क्विक राउंड ऑफ द क्वेश्चन आंसर करेंगे, जैसे हम हमेशा करते हैं. टुमारो आई विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम दिस. याद रखना, कल हमारी 2 क्लास है. टुमारो वी विल हैव द 2 क्लास. वन इज द रेगुलर क्लास फ्रॉम 6 to 9 PM and there is an additional revisionary class tomorrow at 12 o'clock. ठीक
Sir,
है?
about the link.
Same.
Oh, okay.
तो जो कल दोपहर की क्लास है, आई रिक्वेस्ट एवरीवन दैट काइंडली ज्वाइन द क्लास एंड ब्रिंग योर फ्रेंड इफ पॉसिबल. टुमारो वी विल स्टार्ट फर्स्ट विद द प्रैक्टिकल डिस्कशन. दैट जो बड़ा वाला क्वेश्चन आता ना, लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन, फर्स्ट लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन, my main focus to discuss that question, and then we'll go to the revision of chapter 1 to chapter 6. हाँ बेटा, that is right. If permitted by RBI, then it can come in INR also. Absolutely correct, beta. Let me start with a quick round of question answer. Export. So every supply to the SEZ unit is zero rated supply. Please confirm. Every supply to the SEZ unit is zero rated supply. Please confirm. Every supply to the SEZ unit is zero rated supply. Kindly confirm. अब एक बार आप ना चैट में ट्राई करना. I will ask small question and will try to I will request that kindly give the answer in the chat. अभी हम लोग अवॉइड करेंगे बोलना, ठीक है. हाँ, if you have any question, if you like to ask any question, then tell me. You can unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay, मेरा क्वेश्चन था, all supplies to SEZ are zero rated? No, it is only for authorized operation are considered as zero rated. What is the deemed export? What is deemed export? Give me any one example. What is the deemed export? Give me any one example. डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट क्या है? एक एग्जांपल दीजिए, चैट में आंसर दीजिए अगर पॉसिबल है तो. everyone requesting that kindly give me the answer in the chat that which transaction are considered as deemed export. There are 4 transactions which you have discussed. EOU against EPCG license. Very nice, beta. Advance authorization and yes, advance authorization and sale of gold by bank or PSU against advance authorization. ठीक है. Goods should be manufactured in India. It is the condition of export. Zero rated supplies, deemed export या merchant export. Very nice case sir. The right answer is, क्वेश्चन क्या था? क्वेश्चन था कि गुड शुड बी मैन्युफैक्चर्ड इन इंडिया. इट इज द कंडीशन ऑफ एक्सपोर्ट, मर्चेंट एक्सपोर्ट, डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट या जीरो रेटेड. द राइट आंसर इज डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट. राइट आंसर इज डीम्ड एक्सपोर्ट. If representative office and its main office is doing some transaction, they are located into different country. Let's say in India they have the head office and in outside India, USA, they have the branch office, representative office. क्या उनके बीच में जो ट्रांजेक्शन है एक्सपोर्ट काउंट होगा? Will it be considered? Will it be treated as export? Will it be treated as export? No, it will not be treated as export. Because fifth condition is not satisfied. If they are importing, suppose branch is raising the bill to the Indian, if the branch is raising the bill to the Indian office, क्या Indian office के हाथ में will it be considered as import of service? If branch office is raising the invoice to the Indian head office, will Indian head office has to pay the tax under RCM because it is import of service or it is not import of service? The answer is yes, it is import of service because वहां पे कोई fifth condition ही नहीं है. Holding subsidiary, holding company, subsidiary company, will their transaction be considered as export? क्या उनके बीच में transaction export माना जाएगा? क्या will it be treated as export? Answer is yes, it will be export. क्या unregistered person refund ले सकता है? क्या unregistered person refund ले सकता है? Yes, yes. हाँ, otherwise he should be allowed to take the refund. मतलब as per the law he should be allowed. अगर वो allowed है तो उसे refund मिल जाएगा, भले वो registered नहीं है. Exempted item का, if my outward supply is exempted but I have exported, can I take the ITC? Can I claim the ITC and take the refund? Can I claim the ITC and take the refund? Answer is yes. Answer is yes. tell me one thing. I am in India and I have one establishment outside India. One establishment outside India. I am sending the goods. I am doing some transaction. Let's say service. I am doing some transaction. Will it be export of service? I am doing the service invoice, service transaction with my other establishment outside India. क्या मेरा ये transaction export होगा? Will this transaction be export? Answer is no. Answer is no. If it is not export, because establishment outside India, one establishment in India, one establishment outside India, it is the establishment of distinct person and therefore it cannot be export of service. Will it be taxable? If it is not export, then will it be taxable? If it is not export, will it be taxable? If it is not export, will it be taxable? If it is not export, will it be taxable? Answer is no. आप भूल गए ये वाला slide. You might be forgotten this slide. I have explained the exemption entry. I have explained the exemption entry. Now tell me, if my transaction is not export, still I am not required to pay the tax because it is exempted. So, is there any difference in these two transactions? Is there any difference in these two transactions? अगर वो एक्सपोर्ट मान लेता तब भी मैं टैक्स नहीं पे करता या आई विल पे एंड टेक द रिफंड. Second is, they have considered as exempted. What is the difference then? In both the transaction, government is not getting any revenue. Government is not getting any revenue. Then what is the difference in these two transactions? Yes. In the second case, because it is not export, so you can't take the refund. Okay. You can't take even ITC also. If my outward supply is exempted, can I claim the ITC? If my outward supply is exempted, can I claim the ITC? अगर मेरा आउटवर्ड सप्लाई एग्जेम्प्टेड है, क्या मुझे आईटीसी मिलेगा? नहीं. जब आईटीसी नहीं मिलेगा तो रिफंड भी नहीं मिलेगा, ऑब्वियसली है. सो मेक श्योर दैट आउटवर्ड सप्लाई अगर एग्जेम्प्टेड है तो क्या है, आपको आईटीसी नहीं मिलेगा. आपको आईटीसी नहीं मिलेगा. Realization of the foreign currency is mandatory before filing the refund application. In case of the goods, yes. In case of the service, yes. Refund के पहले मुझे अमाउंट रिसीव हो जाना चाहिए इन द फॉरेन करेंसी. इज इट फॉर गुड्स और इज इट फॉर सर्विस? किस केस में मुझे फॉरेन करेंसी चाहिए उसके बाद ही रिफंड एप्लीकेशन फाइल कर सकता हूं? द आंसर इज गुड्स में नो, सर्विस में यस. एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. वेरी नाइस, वेरी नाइस. Can you tell me the two situation where ITC would be refunded? Accumulated ITC can be refunded in two cases. Can you please tell me what are the two cases? वो दो केस कौन से हैं जहां पर आपको accumulated ITC का भी रिफंड मिलेगा? You will entitled to take the refund of accumulated ITC. Tell me. Yes. Absolutely correct. First is zero rated supplies under LUT. Zero rated supplies under LUT. और दूसरा क्या है बेटा? दूसरा क्या है? Inverted duty structure. Okay, tell me, in export of the goods under LUT मुझे किस कंपोनेंट का रिफंड मिलेगा? इनपुट का, इनपुट सर्विस का, या कैपिटल गुड्स का? एक्सपोर्ट मैंने किया, then of which component I am entitled to take the refund? Answer is input and input service. What about inverted duty structure? What about inverted duty structure? So Gyanendra, do you agree with me ना? अगर मैं जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई करता हूं अंडर LUT, then I would be entitled to take input and input service दोनों का refund मिलेगा.
Yes, sir.
Fine. And if it is inverted duty structure, then I would be entitled to take the refund of only input. हेमंत याद रखना, इन्वर्टेड में ओनली इनपुट है. अच्छा मुझे बताइए कौन सा रिफंड ऑटोमेटिक है, कौन सा रिफंड ऑटोमेटिक है जिसके लिए मुझे रिफंड एप्लीकेशन ही फाइल नहीं करनी पड़ती. आई एम नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू फाइल द रिफंड एप्लीकेशन, मेरे ऑटोमेटिकली बैंक में आ जाता है. इन विच केस absolutely correct, absolutely correct, it is export of the goods on payment of IGST. Last question for the day, last question for the day. एक सबसे बड़ा एडवांटेज बता दो कि मैं सर्विस का ट्रांजैक्शन कर रहा हूं कि विद IGST करूं या विदाउट IGST. व्हाट इज द मेन फैक्टर विच आई हैव टू कंसिडर. कौन सा डिसीजन मुझे लेना है, विद की विदाउट. टेल मी एनी वन फैक्टर विच आई हैव टू कंसिडर कि दैट मुझे कौन सा पिक करना है, विच आई हैव टू टेक ए डिसीजन दैट should I do the export of service on IGST or under LUT, for which the one important factor would be absolutely correct. Oja. Very nice, Jini. Very nice. You have given the right answer. जो चीज हमने पढ़ी है उसी की बात करो, मैं अदरवाइज बात भी नहीं करा. ऑब्वियसली the things which I have not discussed, probably you will find one more viewpoint in the rule 89.4. I am not discussing that. The point is, अगर मैं एक्सपोर्ट और सर्विस कर रहा हूं या कुछ भी करूं, अगर मैं एक्सपोर्ट कर रहा हूं ऑन IGST या SEZ कर रहा हूं ऑन IGST, indirectly, I'm not using the word directly, indirectly I am entitled to take the refund of capital goods also. So कल 12 बजे मिलते हैं एवरीवन. ज्ञानेंद्र, जीनी, हेमंत, केशव, एवरीवन, मेक श्योर कि आप लोग कल आएंगे. ठीक है. आपकी आवाज ब्रेक हो रही है. योर वॉइस इज ब्रेकिंग. यार आपकी आवाज ब्रेक है भाई. स्टिल नॉट क्लियर.
Hello. Yeah, now audible, sir.
Perfect.
Hello. Yes, sir. Yeah. Sir,
बताएं
just
क्या
I want to ask one question. If we are importing the material, suppose 10,000 quantity we imported. Out of 10,000, we have sold 2,000 EX bond on ICAI basis.
You have sold 2,000 on ICAI basis.
Yeah. Out of 10,000, we have sold 2,000 on ICAI basis. Our CHA custom house agent charge agency fees on full amount and 10,000 quantity for clearing the goods. So we can take 2,000 input or not, because it is exempted sales.
It is not exempted, huh?
Yeah.
It is not exempted.
Okay.
But the only point which I like to say, if you go to the 17 subsection 3,
okay,
in that you are probably referring that explanation. The IC sale is an example of schedule 3 transaction. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
It is covered in the para 8A or 8B. This is important. If you are talking about para 8A, suppose you have imported the goods, it is lying in my custom bonded warehouse. Before filing the bill of entry, I have sold to someone else. Correct?
Yes, sir.
It is out of GST. Yes, it is out of the GST. But the problem is, my dear friend, explanation to the 17 subsection 3 says that schedule 3 ka 2 transaction will require the reversal of ITC. Para 5, sale of land and completed building, and para 8A, जो warehouse goods before filing the bill of entry for home consumption. In that case, you are not entitled to take ITC.
So we cannot take trade now on proportionate basis.
Correct. You can't.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, दोस्त. Thank you very much. Goodbye to all of you. We'll meet tomorrow. दोपहर में मिलेंगे हम लोग 12 बजे. We'll meet tomorrow afternoon at 12 o'clock. We'll do the revision of first 6 chapter and again in the evening 6 o'clock regular class. Thank you. Goodbye to all of you. We'll meet. Bye bye. अजीत एक बार अजीत जी से बात करना है पॉसिबल, बंद कर दीजिए सेशन.